is just not there.
All right, let's look at the matchups for tonight. And one of the key areas is going to be for the Stampeders along the offensive line. Leaky last week.
Well, it really was. They gave up 8 sacks to the Bombers, and that group right there has to give Rick Johnson time to throw, or they really are out of the ball game. And they're going to have a tough time because Tyrone Jones and big wild James West are coming at them. They had 5 of the 8 sacks last week, and it's going to be tough to keep them out.
And the Blue Bombers a little stronger still on offense with the addition of another potential 1,000-yard receiver, Nick Araki.
Well, you know, this is his 3rd game for the Bombers, and I know Tommy Clements so well that Araki's only caught 1 pass. He's going to want to get him into that offense, make him feel a part of it, so I suspect he'll catch some balls early in the game, and that puts the pressure squarely on the shoulders of Richie Hall and Larry Hogue. Now, they're a lot smaller than Nick, so they're really going to have their hands full covering him.
And add in one more key ingredient for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League at this time, Willard Reeves. I mean, this is a tough football team.
Well, it's tough for Tom Clements because he's got so many talented people on offense. He's got to try and keep everybody happy. Now, it's kind of like in Saskatchewan days when Ronnie Lancaster could have thrown to everybody on any down, but he always had to give George Reed the ball 25 times a game. This is kind of the same thing in Winnipeg. You got to keep Willard happy, back-to-back 100-yard games, so Tommy Clements' job to keep the harmony.
And you got to keep the wide receivers happy, too. That might be the biggest problem that Tom Clements has tonight for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We've got it tonight, the Bombers and the Stampeders on TSN. Back for the Blue Bombers, Winey and Treflin. Short kick for Hay. This is Ken Winey at the 30. And Winey dropped as he crossed the 35-yard line by Bernie Morrison, the veteran middle linebacker for Calgary. A 12-yard return that time for Ken Winey, and out trots Tom Clements. Later in several categories already this season.
Well, you know, John, he's 64% passing so far this year, and he's got a good group up in front. You know, they lead the league in sacks against. They've only given up 7, and a lot of that is attributed to Tom's quickness back there, but with Willard Reeves and those receivers, they got a great group on that offense.
It is a Bomber first down at the 41-yard line. Clements almost intercepted by Morrison. Another Stampeder had a shot at it as well. Araki, the intended receiver. Morrison had his hands on it, and so did Richie Hall have a shot.
Well, they're looking right back into the sun here in the first quarter. I'm not sure if that affected Bernie Morrison or not. He has a great shot to make this catch in the interception, and a couple of guys banging around. But right off the bat, Tom Clements going to Nick Araki. I suspect he'd like to get him involved early.
Araki only 1 catch as a Blue Bomber. Clements distributed it well among the wide receivers and the other slot back, Perry Tuttle, last week in the victory over Calgary. 2nd and 10. Some pressure on Clements. He gets away, and he'll go out of bounds well short of the first down. So the Stampeder defense comes up big on the first sequence. Quincy Williams, 91, leading the way.
And a defensive end spot, and he did a good job running Tommy down from behind.
Hall and Larry Willis deep for Calgary. Bob Cameron across his 30 to kick it away. High kick with the win. Larry Willis, 89 for the Stampeders. Willis has good speed but can't get outside. Stopped near the 25. And Rick Johnson comes out for the Calgary Stampeders. Johnson has to get Calgary rolling early.
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure on him to perform well, and this group, if the pressure is on him. John Coughlin will start at center. He's replacing Bob Poley. They've got some newcomers, Mike Palumbo in there, Rocco Romano back off the injured list. These fellows have to protect him so Rick Johnson can get the ball to the outside guys, Woodruff and Larry Willis. They've got some great speed.
1st and 10 Calgary at the 24. Johnson to the air, far side for Larry Willis, well over his head. And covering out there, James Jefferson III. One newcomer that Bomber secondary is Ken Petway in relief of Ken Haley. Haley has a hamstring and is unavailable, so Johnson may be looking in the direction of Mr. Petway tonight.
I think Ken Johnson's going to be looking in any spot that he can find an open guy, because he's going to have to get the ball away quickly as he did on that last play. The blitz, they're aware of it. They know it's coming. They have to try and compensate with throwing the shorter passes.
And Johnson will throw on 2nd and 10, gets it away, short, and well short of the first down. Ron Wheeler, number 88, He's the slot back.
Pretty good sized slot bag at 6'5" and 230 pounds. He comes up well short of that first down, but those are the kind of passes that Rick Johnson is going to have to complete and hope his receivers maybe break a tackle or two, because you saw the pressure coming so quickly and Johnson has to get rid of the ball in a hurry.
On 3rd and 6, Harper back near his 10-yard line. Had a good week last week, averaging 45 a kick. Low one into the wind. This is Jeff Treflin. And Treflin is gunned down at the 35-yard line. Good tackle that time by Ron Hopkins as he led the Stampeders up to force the Blue Bombers into a first down near the 45. Nothing on the board yet. It's early in Calgary. First quarter, Bombers and the Stampeders, nothing up on the board so far. Back for a Winnipeg first down. Tim Petros is the leading Stampeder in several categories offensively. Prior to the game, some thoughts on how to beat the Blue Bombers.
Well, flying, intense, go after them instead of letting them come after us. Our game plan is basically the same. We just got to come out hitting hard and have the confidence that we can do the job.
You know, John, to take that maybe one step further, I think the Stampeders really have to play with some enthusiasm tonight. I've watched a lot of their games this season, and they seem to be just flat every week. They've got to have some emotion, hit some people, hit them hard, and be jumping around, slapping everybody on the back. I think that's what they need.
Little enthusiasm, both sides of the football, as a matter of fact. There's Stampeders still looking for a defensive leader in many ways, a holler guy out there.
The defense has been pretty soft this year. They're giving up a little over 40 points a game, and that's ridiculous.
From the 44, Winnipeg, 1st and 10. Willard Reeves near the 50. Quincy Williams, number 91, leading the Stampeder tacklers. I believe the last time we saw Calgary, Williams was a linebacker. They moved him up to a down lineman spot, and they think that's his position.
Well, he can handle it. He's 6'4", 230 pounds. He's extremely quick, and what you want from your defensive end is to get that outside pursuit and contain the quarterback. He got pressure the last series on Clements, but boy, oh boy, do they have their hands full, those defensive backs with that crew. 3 1,000-yard receivers in that group. Awesome.
This is 2nd and 6. Clements will toss it to Kantner coming out of the backfield. And he should have the first down across the 55. Larry Hogue, 14 for the Stampeders, forced him out. Pat Kantner.
8 yards picked up on the play, stopped by Hogue.
A first down for Winnipeg on this toss from Tom Clements.
First down.
Pat Kantner's been around for 5 years from the University of British Columbia. He was on that 83 Vanier Cup team. I had a nice chat with him before the game. He's splitting that fullback duties with Vernon Paul, who's the converted linebacker. And I asked him if that bothered him, not playing all the time. He said, you know, it's worked out really well. Vernon and my egos are not that large that we can't handle a job together.
They're splitting it about equally. Vernon Paul, Pat Kantner. This is Willard Reeves, and there's a big hole for Reeves. He could score. Willard Reeves all the way to the 10-yard line, then dragged down by David McCrary. And boy, did the Bombers open up a hole for Willard Reeves that time. Make it 48 yards for Willard Reeves. The Bombers threatened early in the first quarter.
Now what a super draw play on the left. The right guard, Bob Molly, does a super job opening up that hole. It's like the Red Sea, and there goes Willard for 48 yards. That's not unusual for him. Back-to-back 100-yard efforts in the last 2 games.
He's halfway there now. 48 yards on Willard Reeves' second carry of the game. Blue Bombers 1st and 10. Calgary 6-yard line. And Reeves again. Stopped inside the 5 by Bernie Morrison, 72.
Willard Reeves, the ball carrier.
A likable Mike Riley on the sidelines. He has fun coaching football.
I get a kick out of Mike. You know, we were at practice yesterday out on the field, and watching Mike, I mean, he looks younger than half the players out there, but he has the respect of everybody. The coaches work hard for him. The players really like him. And of course, you like everybody when you're 3-0, though.
It's a lot easier to have fun on the sidelines when you're unbeaten.
Well, I'll say.
2nd and goal. Blue Bombers at the Calgary 3. Clements looks to the end zone and fired it too high for Perry Tuttle. Tuttle might have had a little difficulty with the sunshine.
They could have, but that pass was not going to be completed. It was just out of reach. The wind caught it. They tried to run a little pick play, and kind of a surprising call maybe on 2nd and goal from the 2 with big Willard Reeves in there. But nevertheless, they will get some points out of that big 48-yard run by Willard Reeves.
Not what the Bombers were looking for after the big gain by Reeves. They'll settle for 3 from Trevor Kennard. Kennard good on 8 of 13 His longest 44 yards, 61%, from 10 yards away. It's easy. The Blue Bombers into a 3-0 lead on the Calgary Stampeders. 9 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. As the Bombers score first, Stampeder defense bends, but doesn't quite break.
Clemens. Tuttle's got that great speed, you know, and you respect him. He takes you to that inside move, and once he gets that defensive back straightened up, it's all over.
Gain of 12 for Tuttle. First down, Blue Bombers at the Calgary 50. All day for Clemens as he swings it out. Pat Campner, 33. Hopkins with a tackle. Not much, maybe 3.
Well, that's what the Calgary defense would like to do, drop back and force Tom Clemens to throw to those backs on the circle patterns. Richie Hall came up and initially tried to make the play, number 27, and that's not a good matchup. Richie Hall, 5'6", and he's about 160 pounds, and Pat Campner is over 200. He's going to take some punishment.
Pat Clayton, the Stampeders athletic therapist, attending to Richie Hall. If Hall is out of the game for any length of time, Darcy Kopp comes in for Calgary.
Well, here's the matchup. 27, Richie Hall up to make the play, and he's a little guy, only about 150 pounds. Pat Cantner, 210, and looks like he took the helmet right on the thigh pad.
Hall is groggy at the moment. Bob Vespasiani, 21st coach of the Calgary Stampeders, 12-10 his coaching record. And he would go, as mentioned, to Darcy Kopp to fill in for Hall in the backfield. Now, Kopp had a pretty good week last week.
Yeah, he was a special teams player of the week, and that's not unusual for him. He was their special teams player of the year last year. Saw a shot of Bob Vespasiani on the sidelines, and Bob's feeling the heat here in Calgary at the press conference yesterday. He said, yeah, I think my job's on the line. We're not playing the way we should. And he's a little apprehensive about the team and how they're playing right now.
Kopp waiting to come in relief of Richie Hall, who is now sitting up on the field, so that's better news than we showed you in pictures a moment ago. Kopp had a good week last week. 1 interception.
And if they go to the fake punt, which they did last week, Darcy Kopp will be the guy that usually they throw to.
And Hall is apparently okay, but he will be out for a play or two. Kopp moves into safety, and they'll move Greg Peterson to Hall's halfback spot. And the Blue Bombers have 2nd and 8. 35,000 in passing, second to Lancaster, who had 50,000. Clemens' time to throw looks long, and too long that time, intending it for Jeff Boyd. Clemens paid for the pass.
Yeah, he did. He really had to wait and wait for Jeff Boyd to try and come open, and gets a good shot there from number 91, Quincy Williams, as he comes in. And the pass patterns, the timing just hasn't looked too great here in the first quarter. Boyd kind of really quit on that one.
So on 3rd down, Bob Cameron to David McCrary, number 3, or Larry Willis, 89. Cameron will step across his 50. He has the wind, and this one sails into the end zone. Larry Willis back, and he'll give up a point. So the Bombers add to the lead on a long single. 58 yards for Bob Cameron, wind assistance.
Yeah, there's pretty good breeze blowing here, and the Bombers are enjoying that advantage in the first quarter. Not so sure Bob Cameron wanted that to go in the end zone. I think he might have rather keep that short and pin them in deep, but nevertheless, they pick up a single point.
Which really doesn't hurt Calgary at this stage of things very much at all. Field position is likely more important.
Yeah, they're happy going into the wind. They're happy as heck to be starting at 35-yard line.
This is the newcomer, Kirby Warren. And Warren finds the 35-yard line, no more, so he's back to the line of scrimmage. Ron Prodanovic and Hassan Abubakar, the tacklers. A loss of 1.
Boy, they are a tough team to run against. You know, they stuff it up in the backfield. Scott Flagel comes up so quickly from that middle safety spot.
2nd and 11, Johnson to the far side, and he comes up short on the pass. Tony Woodruff, the intended receiver, the Bluebirds. Out at McMahon Stadium. Johnson has not had an awful lot on the football so far.
Well, the fans in Calgary, we talked about in the opening, they're a little disappointed. They expected great things off that season from 1986, and it just hasn't worked out that way. The schedule changes have hurt the Stampeders. They had to play Edmonton on 3 days rest, which I'm sure they did not want to do. And things have just not worked out for Rick Johnson. He had the arm injury. There's nothing wrong physically with him. He just has not been able to generate anything.
Harper across his 25, has it blocked. The Bombers should score a touchdown. Mikowas trying to kick it into the end zone. And the signal from a Blue Bomber says touchdown, but it is a Blue Bomber football regardless, and at the 1-yard line.
Well, give credit to number 74, Vernon Paul. He was the guy that came through to block that kick. Glenn Harper was slow the previous time punting the football, and I'm sure they saw that from upstairs and said, let's go after it. They got after it. Vernon Paul gets the block.
So the Blue Bombers, first turnover of the football game, have a first down at the Calgary 1.
The gut, nobody blocks him, and it could have been Mikowas 77. He could have had a shot at blocking it either, and tries to kick it into the end zone, give a little soccer shot there, but they couldn't get it in. But nevertheless, when they're first and goal at the 1, I would say the chances are pretty good.
Pretty good chance that Willard might be able to sock it in 3 plays, and he likely won't need 3.
Old Stan Mikowas, he was getting excited about that. He had a touchdown in the 1984 Grey Cup game. He recovered a fumble and rumbled it into the end zone. They use him on the short yardage situations as well. They bring Vernon Paul in, and 77 Stan Mikowas. Tyrone Jones also comes in on that short yardage.
It was Mikowas and Jones coming through and blocking the kick. And looks like a fairly routine play for the Blue Bombers. First down, goal to go at the Calgary 1. Clements fakes it, wide open, touchdown. Ty Jones. Good fake to Willard Reeves, held the Stampeders, and Ty Jones just slipped into the end zone.
John, that's pretty, you know, and it's so much fun for a team when they use some defensive guys in short yardage situations to get them involved in the offense. And a guy like Tyrone Jones doesn't get too many chances to catch passes. And, you know, I really like the style of Tommy Clements. Why not? First and goal on the 1, little play action, give Ty a chance.
Talk about spreading it around to all your receivers.
Hey, that's great. You know what? That's where you get team harmony. When you're able to do things like that, everybody's happy and you get things rolling.
Kennard adds to the total, and the Blue Bombers comfortably out in front of the Calgary Stampeders in the first quarter, 11-0.
It's funny, you know, when I talked to Pat Kennard before the game, we were talking about their short yardage offense, and he said, you know, the big boys come in, Mikowas and Ty Jones, and he said, you know, we can throw to those guys. They can catch, and sure enough, here it happens in the first quarter.
Ty Jones, first touchdown of the season. How easy that touchdown was.
He said, man, you know, defense is tough. Playing offense is easy. Get me over there again.
Ron Hopkins to the 25 and across the 30, almost to the 35-yard line. Stopped by Vernon Paul. The Bombers' scoring drive is a short one.
Well,
turn it over, 1 yard, 1 play, 22 seconds. Ty Jones has the touchdown.
The good teams make their own breaks. As we saw the BC Lions a few weeks ago recover a couple of fumbles for touchdowns.
John Ulmer won, and Ulmer setting up one for Kevin Konar.
Yeah.
Johnson facing an 11-0 deficit with a first down. And tough running inside for Tim Petros. Abubakar, the tackle, number 60.
It's interesting about Tim Petros. He's been with the Stampeders for 4 years now, and last week, strangely enough, scored his first touchdown in the Canadian Football League. Took him a little while to do it.
It was about as easy as Ty Jones' touchdown right there. He was wide open and trotted into the end zone. Marking a gain of 5. This is Kirby Warren. He is short of the first down. There is a flag on the field at the 40.
Flag down.
Offside, Winnipeg number 52.
Second offside against the Blue Bombers. That time Mike Gray.
Bombers offside.
Mike Gray out of BC to Ottawa to Winnipeg.
Yeah, he was in the equalization draft. Ottawa picked him up from the BC Lions. They put him on waivers, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers picked him up. They've got him in the starting lineup rather. Strange case, you know, 1985 he was the Schenley Rookie of the Year, and he kind of bounced around a couple of clubs, and now has found a home with the Bombers.
Second down, less than a yard to go, Calgary. And they have it with Tim Petros. First down of the game for the Stampeders. Field position looking a lot better for Calgary all of a sudden. Finally, a little something to cheer about at McMahon.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to see Rick Johnson the last series now. He tried to run the football a little bit. Winnipeg is stunting and blitzing so much that I know he's thinking if they get just a little bit of a seam, they might be able to break one.
From the 46, Johnson straight back to throw. He has time. He has a receiver. Can't hang on. Ron Wheeler, number 88. The slot back.
Ran a good pattern on Darrell Sampson. Broke it to the outside. And
should have made the catch.
Yeah, oh, sure he should have. That was a good throw by Johnson. You know, when you're struggling, you have to have your receivers make those plays.
Yeah. Vespasiani knows it should have been caught.
Yeah, the blood pressure is getting up there.
Penalties hurt Calgary last week. They had one long drive called back.
Well, Wheeler had a couple of good catches called back.
Johnson looking long this time for Tolbert, and Tolbert can't get there. Double coverage as he went for the football. Ken Petway, Scott Flegel on Emmanuel Tolbert that time. He's a little frustrated, Leaf. He hasn't been very busy. 11 catches on the season. That's not quite enough work for Tolbert.
A couple of weeks ago when we were here, John, we talked about Emmanuel Tolbert really having to take over from Ray Alexander, who departed the team, and it just hasn't been the case. They haven't been able to get the ball to him enough, and he is frustrated. Saw a shot of Scott Flegel. He's the all-Canadian safety, 6 years, and tremendous football player.
Last one was blocked. Harper gets this one away. Flag is down back at the line of scrimmage, and this is Darrell Sampson for the Blue Bombers. Good upfield special team coverage for Calgary. Led by Hopkins, number 15, a 56-yard kick. And as mentioned, a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Offside, Winnipeg number 14.
Flegel. 3 offside penalties against the Blue Bombers. So the Stampeders will weigh some options.
I think they'll just take the play the way it is. There was a good kick, good coverage, and Winnipeg's going to have to start reasonably deep in their own territory.
Yeah, into the wind. Harper might not get another one away. That
was a great
long,
kick.
56.
Excellent.
Hall is back for Calgary. Shaken up earlier, but he is back at his right halfback spot. Tom Clements. First down inside the Bomber 20. And Willard Reeves is stacked up.
That's Willard Reeves.
Reeves 117 yards last week. Longest today, 48 yards. Kopp goes in.
Yeah, on second or long situations, they'll bring Darcy Kopp in. They take Mike Emery, number 85, the linebacker, out. So now they've got 6 defensive backs in there.
And Kopp doesn't hurt them a bit back there.
Oh, he's a good football player. He can play defense. He's on a couple of Vanier Cup teams and was an all-university defensive player.
2nd and 7. And Tuttle drops the pass. So Cameron will kick from deep in his own zone. And the Stampeders come out of this one pretty well.
Well, this is what they have to do. They have to tighten that defense down. You know, you can't be giving up 40 points a game and expect to win too many. So play those receivers a little tighter. Tuttle maybe should have caught it, but he heard those footsteps of Larry Hogue coming in there for the hit.
Cameron inside his 10. Richie Hall, Larry Willis near the Calgary 40. Larry Willis. And he's at midfield, but no running room that time. Ron Prodanovic, 78 for the Bombers, leading Winnipeg's tacklers that time. 6-yard return on a 39-yard kick. So Cameron unable to take much advantage, but it looks to me like the wind has died down on Cameron right now because flags are hanging fairly straight.
First and 10 for the Winnipeg 53.
Great field position for Ken Johnson. Now he can air it out if he wants and maybe go to a little deeper passing game.
Stamps trailing by 11. Johnson had his man, and Woodruff couldn't hang on. Dropsy.
Roy Bennett reads the quarterback so well. You know, he faces himself on an angle where he's half watching the receiver and half watching into the offensive backfield. He sees Tony Woodruff on the slant, and he's ready and waiting. Second time, he's put a pretty good hit on him.
Catchable, though.
Oh, yeah, catchable. I mean, you're going to take the hit. You might as well catch it anyway.
That's right. Good points.
Well, Johnson's trying to go to a hurry-up style of offense so Winnipeg can't get their defensive signals called. But the referees kind of foiled that one with a little discussion.
2nd and 10 Calgary at the 55. Johnson over the middle. Intercepted. Picked off by Daryl Sampson. And Sampson has the sidelines to himself. Dragged down from behind finally by Larry Willis. But Daryl Sampson has the second Blue Bomber turnover. His first interception. But there's discussion. The ball inside the 20, inside the 15 now.
51 yards on the return.
All right, you got Ron Wheeler lined up at the tight end right there, and then Daryl Sampson here. Wheeler is going to release off the line of scrimmage, and as he turns in, Sampson comes underneath and makes a great interception.
He fumbled on the return, however. We'll watch to pick that up. It is a Calgary first down.
Boy, that's a nice play coming underneath.
Stampeders deep in their own zone. This is the newcomer, Kirby Warren. Stopped by Sampson.
Kirby Warren.
Well, Larry Willis knocks the ball out of bounds, and Stampeders
3 yards to pick up on the play.
Kick it out. I couldn't see who really was the last one to touch it.
That's difficult to see that there because along the sidelines, it had to go off a Stampeder.
I think it might have been Kirby Warren.
2nd down, 7 to go, Calgary. Deep in their zone from the 15. Johnson. And Woodruff, the intended receiver, can't hang on. Calgary has to catch a football here. There's a flag down. Ken Petway covering.
Holding, Calgary number 61.
Spallettini.
Well, this is not a tough decision.
No, you kick it away.
Kick it away. Winnipeg gets it back.
11-0 Bombers. 20 seconds to go. Opening quarter.
You know, I think in theory, what Kenny Johnson's trying to do, those quick slant patterns to the wide guys, is good. You can release the ball quickly, but the timing has been kind of brutal. They just haven't been able to hook up on any of them.
Clock is running. 16 seconds left as Harper tries to get it away and does, but the charge was on. Bad kick that time. It trickles out near the 45.
I'm not so sure Stan Mikowicz, number 77, didn't get a piece of that football.
25-yard kick for Harper that time.
You know, Harper's got to speed it up a touch. You can shake your head and all that about saying, well, the guys are coming through, and they are coming through, but he's got to realize that and just speed his rhythm up a bit.
Glenn Harper, great week against the Bombers last Friday night. And although he has kicked a 56-yarder, he has had 1 block, one almost blocked, and that one goes for only 25. Bombers, great field position just outside the Calgary 40 at the 42. Clemens, good fake. Has room to the outside and a receiver. Not quite that time. Jeff Boyd in heavy coverage down there. McCrary was there, number 3. And so was number 14, Larry Hogue. Bombers lead it by 11. Let's send you back to Toronto, our TSN control center there. And Jim Van Horn. Jim Porter underway. Blue Bombers inside Calgary territory at the 42-yard line. It is 2nd and 10 for Clements. And this is Willard Reeves. Reeves comes up short. Almost 5 on the carry.
The element of surprise on 2nd and long on a draw play to Willard Reeves, and he really put some punishment on Darcy Kopp.
12 yards for the Calgary Stampeders in the opening quarter, 86 for the Blue Bombers. Now, the Bombers haven't exactly been awesome, but the Stampeders have really struggled.
Well, Stampeders have played well on defense here in this first quarter. The one turnover with the blocked punt is really the story of the game so far.
From the 45, Trevor Kenner. He's 2 for 2, and the Bombers lead it 14-0. 1 touchdown, a couple of Kennard field goals, and early in the second quarter, it's Winnipeg by 14. Time, and it's picked up by Bennett, 23 of the Bombers.
Well, I think Roy Bennett is one of the best cornerbacks in the Canadian Football League. Was an All-Canadian last year. Watch the play he makes. He sees the receiver look back. That's his cue to turn around and look for the football. He locates it. It was not a great pass, but at 6'2", he can go up and take it at the highest point. It's his 4th interception of the year, and the turnovers keep on coming.
Bombers now from their 41 with a first down. Roy Bennett, his 4th interception of the season, sets it up. Clemens swings it out to James Murphy. His first catch.
Clemens complete to Murphy. 4 yards.
Johnson has to solve some problems.
Yeah, things are not going his way here in the first half.
Stampeders have turned it over a total of 24 times in 4 games and a quarter. 5 per game. 2nd down, 6 to go, Winnipeg. From the 45, Clemens steps up and fires for Cantner, the release man. Cantner stopped short of the first.
Clemens complete to Cantner. Brought down by Richie Hall.
Richie Hall, the tackler.
Well, the same situation that Richie Hall was injured on in the first quarter. He has to come up once again on Pat Cantner, and he really makes a great tackle at 160 pounds. Sticks his face in there and stops Pat Cantner dead. Appears as though they are a little short of that first down marker. Richie Hall's been with the Stampeders for 5 years from Colorado State. Originally at a free agent camp and brought into Calgary. Last year a Western All-Star in 1986.
We'd like to direct your attention to the red white club, which is located.
It's a yard short, maybe a long yard. Mike Riley takes no chance.
Find that kind of surprising with the field position that they have, that Mike Riley might not gamble there, but with a 14-point lead and one of the better punters in the league, I guess he can afford to play it safe here.
Hall and Willis, 27 and 89, back for Cameron's kick. Near the 20, this is Richie Hall. Good return for Hall. Out to the 36 and maybe a yard further. James Jefferson III on the tackle for Winnipeg. That's the score early in the second quarter. The Bombers lead it by 2 touchdowns. Warman, he started the first 2 games of the season. There are the numbers on Warman. 3 touchdown passes, 537 yards. And Johnson hasn't been able to get the job done for Calgary in the opening quarter and a bit. So Warman comes in. Johnson on the sidelines. That's his evening. 2 interceptions, 1 of 11, 4 yards.
Well, you know what?
So Vespasiani really had no choice.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. You know, Rick just did not have a feel or a flow for the game so far, and Rick Foreman has not played in a couple of games, so why not give him a chance? He looked pretty good in the opening game at Saskatchewan against the Rough Riders when they came back to win that football game. Threw the ball extremely well on that last drive for the winning major to Larry Willis, so why not give him a chance?
Foreman has Calgary's only victory of the season. Vespasiani has to shake things up in this Calgary offense. They have not moved the football. Let's see what Warman can do with a first down at the 36. No running room. Kirby Warren, his first game in the Canadian Football League. In fact, his first game since 1985. We asked if it would be a problem.
No, it won't be a problem. I've been to all the practices, and I've studied the opponents well, and I've watched all the games, and it's really not going to be that much of a stressful situation for me.
What he didn't count on was a quick linebacker like Daryl Patterson catching him from behind.
Pressure is on Warman, and he is down. West and Ty Jones.
Ty Jones having himself a great first half, got the big touchdown pass reception, and that time just blew through and picked up his 5th sack of the season. It's hard to believe he's been around for 5 years from Southern University. 1985 defensive Shenley winner, but he just gets through there untouched. They're just having trouble up front. You know, they seem confused on those blitzing situations. They were in Winnipeg last week, and it looks as though they haven't been able to correct it.
Low snap on 3rd down, blocked once more. Kopp has it for Calgary. Mikowas through, and that's the 2nd time that Mikowas has made it through to block a Glenn Harper punt.
I believe it was 77 Stan Mikowas. 72 Delbert Fowler was also in there, but you know, it was a low snap, but you've got to block those folks up front.
That Calgary offensive line gave up 8 sacks last week.
And it was Big Stan getting through there. He's had himself a great first half as well. Well, you know, when things are going well, it seems to compound itself, and the Bombers just are making things happen once again tonight.
Earlier block punt set up the only touchdown of the game so far. Ty Jones on the receiving end of that one. Clements on 1st down, looks for more. Inside the 10-yard line, Perry Tuttle.
Clements pass complete to Perry Tuttle.
Well, the good teams take advantage of their opportunities, and that time Calgary with his own defense. Perry Tuttle has no problem finding that hole in between Matt Finley and Bernie Morrison, the 2 linebackers, and Tommy Clements, of course, a piece of cake for him to read that and feather it in.
10 minutes, 43 seconds to go. In the opening half, Bombers threatening again. They lead it by 14 already. 1st down, goal to go. From the 8, Clements, wide open. At Kantner. Kantner, the 2nd Blue Bomber touchdown. Similar play to Ty Jones' touchdown going the other way. Clements made it look easy. Blue Bombers off to a good start in this one, and a great start in '87.
Well, Nick Araki does a great job picking off Matt Finley, the inside linebacker who is supposed to cover Pat Kantner. It wasn't an illegal pick. He just happened to run into him.
One more for Trevor Kennard. He hasn't missed a thing so far tonight. The Blue Bombers leading the Calgary Stampeders. Turnovers a big part of the story as the Bombers lead it by 21.
Need to fight through that, and Pat Kantner scores an easy one.
4 turnovers for the Calgary Stampeders, 2 direct touchdowns as a result for the Blue Bombers. On the kickoff, Andrew McVeigh. A flag down, McVeigh down near the 40.
56-yard kickoff by Kennard. McVeigh gets 21 on the return.
James Jefferson, the Bomber tackler.
Holding, Calgary number 97.
That's Garrett Dahl, a backup linebacker. And nothing is going right for Vespasiani this season or this evening. 26 yards in 2 plays. Quick touchdowns on the turnovers lately.
Yeah, block punt, 2 touchdowns now directly off block punts, 14 points. And boy, when you're playing a tough team like Winnipeg, you can't beat yourself with those turnovers, and Calgary finds himself trailing by 21.
The numbers for Calgary awful so far. Total offense 10 yards. By contrast, Willard Reeves of the Bombers 6 carries for 68. 1st down, Calgary from the 15. It's Warman at quarterback, and he sails this one well long. Emmanuel Tolbert was the closest Calgary receiver. A flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Offside, Winnipeg number 52.
Break. Stamps get a break.
Second time tonight, Mike Gray's been called for offside, and it really is a break. They need every one they can get at this point. You know, John, I'm really disappointed with the Stampeders this year. You know, they had such a great year in 1986, where one of the most exciting teams, if not the most exciting team to watch offensively with Rick Johnson and everything. And I really thought they were going to come back in 87 and just take off where they left off, but it just hasn't been the case. And tough to put your finger on it, but you lose 4 good players like we mentioned in the opening, and it's tough to regroup.
The newcomer, Kirby Warren, he's playing for the injured Gary Allen, an All-Canadian at running back last year, but Allen has been hurting and not performing effectively.
Stan Miklas, yeah, he was in on the tackle, and you know, we asked Mike Riley if, you know, you've got such a great team, is there anything that's been a pleasant surprise for you? And he said, well, not so much a pleasant surprise, but I've been extremely happy with the play of our nose tackle, Stan Miklas. He's been around for 6 years, and he's really controlling the center and the 2 guards, and if that's one bright spot, it's, in Mike Riley's opinion, it's Miklas's play.
Second down and 2, Calgary. Chance to convert for Warren. And the Bombers may have recovered.
Well, Tyrell Jones was in there so quickly, as he has been all in the first half. He made the hit. He is some kind of linebacker.
Some kind of pass receiver, too.
Yeah. Well, you know, all those linebackers are big. They're all over 6 feet and 200 pounds. And Ty Jones knifes in there so quickly. I do believe the ball squirts loose, but the Stampeders, I believe it was Emmanuel Tolbert, recovered that.
Stamps will maintain possession, but they'll kick it away. McVeigh injured. And that'll hurt Calgary. He's a special teams player with an awful lot of hustle out there. And that's one thing that Mike Riley was commenting about as far as the Stampeders were concerned last week. Their special teams were the one bright spot as far as Winnipeg was concerned, looking at Calgary from last week.
Well, you know, special teams is strictly an attitude kind of thing. You don't have to have a lot of plays or set things to do. It's just hustle and work as hard as you can. So the Stampeders at least can work hard, and they have had success this year on their special team efforts.
They've beefed up the blocking for Harper, but it's a low snap once more. Bombers through. Harper got it away. Darrell Sampson on the Winnipeg return. Sampson away from one tackler and another. Sampson lost the football. Calgary has recovered. Stampeders finally get a turnover going their way. At last, something to clap for. Ron Hopkins has the football.
Boy, it's a great return by Darrell Sampson, and just at the end, Darcy Kopp gets a shot at him, and it's Matt Finley, I believe, that strips that. No, it's not. It's
from
Larry
behind.
Hogue, number 14, from behind, and Ronnie Hopkins, his defensive backfield teammate, makes the recovery. And
good recovery.
Yeah, they needed a break, and let's see if they can turn things around. Rick Warman, get something going.
8:38 to play, first half. It is the Bombers by 21. Warman, good fake, didn't fool everybody. Swings it out of the backfield to Kirby Warren, and he's back to the line of scrimmage. That's all. That Bomber defense is tough. Flegel was up, along with James West.
You know, they're a tough team to move the football against, and Kirby Warren out in the flat. Scott Flegel, one of the toughest hitters in the league at 6'2", 190, comes up and has a free shot. And boy, for my money, he's the best in the business in the CFL, Scott Flegel.
All Canadian. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 Calgary. From the 38. And referee Ross Perrier steps in. What has he spotted, Leaf?
Well, I think it's something to do with the 20-second clock in the corner of the field, whether
It's got 3 seconds on it right now, but maybe it wasn't functioning properly.
Benefit Insurance Limited is proud to be the official insurance brokerage in the Calgary City.
3 seconds on the clock, so Warman had that much time left on a 2nd and 10. If that is the problem. Still no indication from the referee, Ross Perrier.
yeah, the clock's back to 20, but I think it's the official game clock, and Ross Perrier's just holding up proceedings while they let that clock run down.
8:30 till halftime. But they're spinning it ahead a little bit here on us now.
Well, it was at 7:59, I believe, when they reset the clock. They went back up to 9 minutes. Now they're letting it run down. So they lost 19 seconds somewhere along the line, and now they started all over again. Still 2nd and 10.
Stampeders at the 38. Gorman, some time to throw. To Marshall Toner, 76. Toner has a first down. Delbert Fowler stopping Toner after the gain of 10 yards.
First catch tonight, but you know the key is the protection that Rick Warman gets. That time the Bombers rushing 5 people. They dropped back, but the Calgary offensive line gave them time to throw. If you can do that, you've got a chance to be successful.
Second first down of the night for Calgary. From the 50, Rick Warman pressure. Over the middle, got it away. Ron Wheeler, number 88. Stopped by Ken Petway, number 9, a 17-yard pickup. So Warman beat the blitz.
Yeah, he did a great job, too. You know, he had someone right in his face, and he sees Ron Wheeler break inside. Here comes James West, Tyrone Jones. I mean, they're in there when the ball is snapped. And Ron Wheeler breaks to the inside. The newcomer, Ken Petway, can't stay with him. That's a nice read and a good throw.
2 first downs in a row for Calgary. Warman slips, and he'll go down. Lost his balance, but the Bombers were coming anyway. Arbubakar, number 60 that time, and Ty Jones once more.
Yeah, he's been the entire story in the first half, and nobody's picking him up. He's lining up in a bunch of different places, but they just, John Coughlin, you see number 56, the center, he's a newcomer. He has to make some quick calls in there, and obviously they're not getting the job done because Ty Jones just can't get in there untouched.
Second sack. Bombers had 8 last week. Bob Foley, the All-Canadian center for Calgary, is sorely missed.
Yeah, he is. He's got the broken arm still. He's not in there, and they do miss his leadership.
Another strike for Warman at the 25. There is a flag down, however. Willis made the catch, number 89.
Pass incomplete on the play. And there's a flag.
Holding. Calgary number 65.
Palumbo.
Well, it's not surprising you get the holding calls, and of course the officials, I think, at this stage will look for it because there's so much pressure coming in that pretty once in a while you're going to have to grab somebody to keep them from getting your quarterback. There's Bob Foley with the hat on, and they really do miss him because the center is the guy on the offensive line that has to make a lot of quick calls for their blocking and pass protection schemes, and John Coughlin just does not have the experience. It's showing here in the first half.
Second down and 23 facing Warman now. So is a Bomber blitz. Warman gets it away. This is Kirby Warren, and Warren comes up short of a first down after a big game. Andy McVeigh, an injured Stampeder, well back of the play.
19 yards.
Well, that's the thing you have to do, John, is try and take some of that heat off with the draw play or a screen play, and they executed it well. They had a long way to go on second down, 23 yards. They come up a buck short, but it still was a nice offensive play.
20-yard pickup, but the Stampeders needed 23. That is Andy McVeigh, injured for the second time in the ball game. Pat Clayton, the athletic therapist of Calgary, tending to McVeigh. And the Stampeders will kick it away on third down. Is it in J.T. Hay field goal range? We'll find out in just a moment. There's the score. Winnipeg by 3 touchdown gain.
Well, it was a well-executed screen pass, and the one thing about Kirby Warren, he has got more straightaway speed than Gary Allen. Gary Allen's a much niftier running back with the good quick cuts, but as far as breakaway speed, Kirby Warren has a little more 4.5 speed. Andy McVeigh on the sidelines appears as though he's all right, but boy, big gamble for Bob Vespasiani. He's got 3rd and 3, and it appears as though they're going to go for it.
That's a long 3 looking down from our vantage point, too. Stampeders have to cross the 35 and get to the 34-yard line.
Well, it's great if you make it, but, you know, if you come away empty-handed with this drive, it's kind of depressing. We'll see what happens.
It would be 45-yard field goal for J.T. Hay, 47, something like that.
Well, that's well within his range. Got the wind behind his back. He can handle that.
But the Stampeders go gambling. And if they get this one, they might turn things around a little bit. 5:22 to play till the first half is over. Warman. And it's dropped by Larry Willis.
Pass intended for Larry Willis.
Boy, he ran a great pass pattern, too. He broke to the inside, then pivoted, went back to the outside, and almost a hesitant throw by Rick Warman, but still a ball that has to be caught on a third down gamble.
So it doesn't pay off for Calgary. They'll turn it over once more.
Huddle and luncheon held the last Monday of each month. The next huddle and luncheon will be held Monday the 27th of July, featuring Harold.
Well, he had to turn around and go for it.
Tough
But, you know,
catch. It
well,
was-
John, it's a tough catch, but on a third down gamble, I mean, the
gotta
good
make
ones, the good ones make it.
For Clemens, first down. And the Bombers dropping a little bit down there, too. That was Willard Reeves, 38. Couldn't hang on.
They tried to set up that screen pass, too, and Willard Reeves normally has the good hands coming out of the backfield.
Danny Andrews on Monday the 27th.
All-Canadian in 1984 and 85. Of course, 84 won the Shenley as the outstanding player in Canadian football.
The turnover story, that has cost Calgary dearly. The last turnover just on downs, so they didn't lose any points on that one. But 2 block punts have led to Winnipeg touchdowns. Bombers lead it 21-0. 2nd and 10, facing Tom Clements now. Some early movement and flags all over the place. Clements likely with a free one. Good defensive coverage. Ron Hopkins on Jeff Boyd.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Procedure, Winnipeg number 63.
Procedure against Chris Walby, the veteran.
You see at 6'7" and 290, when you commit illegal procedure, that's pretty easy to see.
Star of the week last week along the offensive line. James the Quick Murphy working against McCray. The Bombers have not gone to Murphy frequently.
Winnipeg declined by Calgary.
1 catch, 3 yards. Hall and Willis back for Bob Cameron's punt. Cameron will step across the 25. Good game average at 47. High into the wind. Larry Willis. And Willis cut down by the first man upfield.
42 yards.
A 44-yard kick. Ty Jones was that first man up the field.
Who else? He's been everywhere tonight.
Larry Willis.
Touchdown catch. He's been in the backfield. He's making tackles on special teams.
Ty Jones on the stop. Be sure to stop by.
Maybe he's the offensive and defensive star league.
Gets my vote.
So far, he's had a game. Stampeders first down. At the 34. Bombers leading by 21. 4:02 to go till halftime. It's Warman at quarterback. Johnson has been pulled. Good fake by Warman. Man open. Make the catch. He does. Ron Wheeler down to the 30. Biggest play of the ball game for Calgary. Wheeler in front of Daryl Sampson.
42 yards to pick up on the play. And again,
A nice play action fake. He fakes the draw into Kirby Warren. Now that holds the pressure just a little bit and allows Ron Wheeler time to work inside of Daryl Sampson. Makes a nice catch. Good throw by Rick Warman, and he's got a nice 43-yard pickup. But, you know, that play action fake just held that pass rush just enough.
Warman did fake very beautifully. 3:21 to the half. Stampeders deepest penetration. Warman to throw once more. Another catch for Calgary. Wheeler once more. So the Stampeders have got it rolling now.
Well, you know, he's such a great target at 6'5" and 230 pounds, and they found a matchup, obviously, that they like. Sampson working on Ron Wheeler, and he just can't get there. Good pattern, nice catch, and pick up almost a first down. Good situation for Rick Warman, second and about a foot.
2 in a row for Wheeler, gets the Stampeders out of a deep hole. 3:06 to play till halftime. And the Stampeders threatening for the first time this evening at McMahon. Calgary having difficulties with the turnovers early. If they put it in the end zone here, we could have a ball game.
Couldn't hang on with them, but spent 2.5 years in the United States Football League. Was a territorial pick. Originally, the Hamilton Tiger Cats came back, played a few games for him, and ended up in Calgary.
And he grades out as the top Stampeder offensive lineman. Second down, Stampeders fumble. And the Bombers recover. Calgary turns it over once more. The Stampeders needed less than a yard.
And on to Petros on the play.
Well, Tim Petros coughs the football up, but, well, I don't blame you, Bob. You got to be upset about that. You finally get some pass protection, complete a few balls, and then your offense coughs it up.
What happened? The exchange?
That looked like he hit the arm of Tim Petros as he was trying to hand off, and you never know what happens. Rick Johnson, I'm sure, gets most of the practice time now, and maybe the timing's just not there, but shouldn't happen. 2nd and 1.
Turnover, number 6. Couldn't have come at a worse time for Calgary.
Well, if it weren't for bad luck, Calgary wouldn't have any at all.
Absolutely right. Willard Reeves on first down, 2:44 to play till halftime. It's been all Bombers so far in Calgary.
Brought down by Goldsmith.
Looks like big Nick Bastaya down on the field.
Injured Bomber on the play.
What a performer he's been. Been in the league for 13 years from Simon Fraser University. Spent 6 of those with the Toronto Argonauts. Then, of course, came over in the trade. Had 7 great years in Winnipeg.
85 Shenley winner. Talked about Shenley winners in that Bomber offense. And when you look through that Bomber offense, there are 5 on the field tonight. Nick Bastaya is one. James Murphy, another. Willard Reeves, Tom Clements. And number 5,
Nick Araki, the big tight end whom they acquired from Montreal in the dispersal draft. But that really is incredible when you think about it, John, to have 5 Shenley winners on one offensive team.
Bastaya being attended to by Ross Hodgkinson, the athletic therapist of the Bombers. Maybe we can pick it up. His leg seems to fold under a little bit there. He's tough.
He's tough, you know, 255 pounds. That's a lot of weight coming down on that ankle.
He rolls up those sleeves in Winnipeg in November, too.
That's to psych out the other guys. I mean, it would do a number on me. I'd have the overcoat on and everything under there, but old Nick likes to show those biceps. You know, when you do as many curls as he does, you like to show those big arms.
Bob Cameron testing out the right leg. It'll be 2nd and 5 when play does resume, so Cameron won't be called into action for a second or two anyway. 2:44 to go till halftime. Bastaya helped out. Steve Roda-Huskers is listed as the backup along all positions on that Bomber offensive line. He wears sweater 66. He's a skinny 270 pounds, according to Mike Riley. He can beef up. Riley figures that Roda-Huskers will be a starter with the Bombers very shortly and will likely play at 285.
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't want to be around him at the dinner table with going at those dinners, but he's a rookie from the University of Calgary. Big boy, and a nice way to start off your career working as a backup on this experienced offensive line. Now he gets a chance to play.
Bastaya on the sidelines. Clements. 2nd and 5. Tight defensive coverage. It was Darcy Kopp, number 32, in front of Perry Tuttle that time.
3rd down, Bombers, 6 yards to go.
And Tuttle limping a little bit as he heads to the sidelines. Kopp felt the hit too.
Well, Darcy Kopp has really helped this team defensively when he comes in that 6th defensive back situation. He is an excellent defensive back. We told you he was the outstanding defensive player in the country when he was a Calgary Dinosaur, so he knows how to play defense. It's just a matter of working him into the lineup.
Short kick for Cameron, taken at the 50. Flags are down, no yards likely, as Richie Hall fielded that one. Number 27, 31 yards.
32 yards.
No return. Bastaya, a left ankle problem.
Yeah, Rob Pradanovic looked like he just couldn't hold up.
No yards. Winnipeg.
Ross didn't give a number, but I'll believe you.
Yeah, number 78, Rob Pradanovic. He was the first one down and inside that 5-yard area. Well, that's a good break. That's 15 good yards for the Stampeders. And it's only 21-0. I mean, nothing worse can happen to them than it has happened in the first half. So if they could finally get something going here, play error-free football for the next few minutes.
Coming right at you. That's what Cameron sees 4 or 5 times a ball game.
Lyle Bauer does a great job snapping that ball back to him.
First down, Calgary. Warman. He has his man, Woodruff. They rule no catch now. Or Larry Willis, rather.
Larry Willis was convinced he caught that football. Very difficult to tell whether he trapped it or not, but the official was right on the spot, and he did not hesitate one bit to make that call, so I suspect he did trap it.
Vespasiani cannot buy a break.
Get a look at it here. Pretty good throw by Warman to feather it in there. Now you can see the ball touch the ground. That's a great call.
2nd and 10, Calgary. Outside the 40. Warman gets pressure late. And again, he fires it low. Willis. And Warman pays.
Well, they're doing a better job protecting the quarterback, and now they just have to start hooking up with the receivers. That time, maybe a catchable ball for Larry Willis. It would have been a good effort, but when your team's down, you sometimes have to make a big catch to get things going. And it doesn't get any easier for Rick Warman. He has to stand in there with Big Ty Jones coming in his face.
Ty Jones once more. J.T. Hay. A field goal try from 50 yards away. To make matters worse, Hay hasn't been going all that well for Calgary either. He's missed his last 3 field goals. With Johnson holding. Hay breaks out of the slump. Hay kicked his first 5, missed 3 in a row, and he's back on the board. 21-3. Calgary trailing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
That's a great way to get back on the board with a 50-yarder.
Not bad at all.
Rick Warman getting a little help from upstairs in the spotter's booth, trying to figure out what the...
Mr. Paul McMillan.
He is in 3rd place in the all-time completion department, 75 short of Dieter Brock. Ron Lancaster leads in career completions as well. On 1st down, Clements for James Murphy. Hall, 27, hit Murphy as he made the catch.
That's the first catch for James Murphy tonight. 2nd catch. Richie Hall, 5'6", 160 pounds, soaking wet. I don't think he's 160.
5'6", you say?
Yeah, he's 5'6", but he's a pretty tough little guy.
Hey, Dan, your first one.
Darcy Kopp once again comes in, 6 defensive backs.
They mark it a gain of 3. Murphy's got 2 catches, both for 3 yards. This is 2nd and 7. Clements has some trouble, looks to the far side and overthrows the target, Pat Kantner, that time.
Pretty good defensive scheme that time for the Stampeders. Darcy Kopp, the 6th defensive back, came right up on the line of scrimmage. He was coming on the blitz. They brought a few other fellas and tried to get some heat on Tom Clements and upset his rhythm. That's about the only way you can stop him. There you see Darcy Kopp at the bottom of your screen. He's going to come. Bernie Morrison's coming. Lamont Jeffers is coming. And you've got to try and upset Tommy Clements any way you can. You've got to gamble and take a few chances on defense.
Hall and Willis to accept Cameron's kick. Better one this time. Larry Willis, number 89. Nowhere to go. He loses yards and the football. Bombers should recover. No, Calgary. Should be a Calgary football. McCrary came out of nowhere. 2 Bombers had a pretty good shot at coming up with a football. That would have been turnover number 7.
Well, David McCrary really saved the day because that would have been devastating had Winnipeg recovered that. Larry Willis makes a bad decision here to go backwards with it. He's a little casual with the football. Plagle strips it loose, and I'll tell you, David McCrary does a great job to come in there.
2 Bombers very close to the action. Sampson, number 30, was 1. But McCrary saves the day for Calgary. Stampeders, though, with bad field position on the fumble. Foreman over the middle. Nobody there. It might have been Wheeler. Is the intended receiver. Mastaya will head to the dressing room.
Yeah, that does not look good when they have to take you in the dressing room and check things out. He's got the ice bag on the ankle, and hopefully Nick will be all right. But the good side of the things is Steve Rhoda Huskers gets a chance to gain some valuable experience playing that left guard spot.
Foreman has gained 100 yards since taking over in relief of Rick Johnson. 50% passing completion. The air once more. They call it a catch. Larry Willis.
Warman.
And Warman down
Larry
again.
Willis.
A 20-yard pickup.
20 yards to pick up. First down, Stampeders.
You think it's fun being a quarterback. Watch this. Hassan Arberbacher on the stunt comes clean up the middle. He's not picked up, and Rick Warman just takes it right in the helmet. But he hung in there and threw a beautiful strike to Larry Willis.
1st and 10, Calgary. On the money again. Ron Wheeler that time, 88. So Warman has at least moved the Stampeders a little bit. Now 7 of 10 in completions.
Gain of 11. Another Stampeder first down at their own 49.
Ron Wheeler, they're getting the good matchup that they want on Daryl Sampson. He's been able to work him for about 3 good catches in a row now.
1:07 on the clock till halftime. Calgary a first down at the 49. Sailed this one a little high. And down the sidelines, Tolbert. The intended receiver. Scott Flegel supplied the coverage.
Well, the amazing thing about the Blue Bombers is they can come time and time again with the blitz and the heavy pressure because they know they've got the good defensive backs there with the coverage. Warman had to let that ball go before he wanted to, and just no chance to feather it into Emmanuel Tolbert. Daryl Sampson victimized a couple of times by Ron Wheeler, but he was there with good tight coverage that time.
It'll be 2nd and 10, Calgary, 49-yard line. Into the final minute of the opening half. The Bombers lead it 21-3. Deep drop. Knocked down. Patterson. Intended for Tim Petros. And Daryl Patterson knocked it down. Almost looked like he was going to cradle that one in for a one-handed interception.
Yeah, well, these guys are so smart. He read it initially. You know, you invite those defensive linemen upfield and try and get them to get the penetration and dump the ball off on the screen. But Daryl Patterson read it perfectly. You know, surprisingly enough, I didn't remember, but he was the nominee last year on that Winnipeg team as their defensive Schenley Player of the Year, and already has an interception this year. Been with the Bombers now for 4 seasons.
Sampson and Treplin. Deep for Harper's punt. Jeff Treplin at the 20. Nowhere to go. Toner, number 76. A 41-yard kick.
40 yards on the
good
move by
special
Harper.
teams coverage by Marshall Toner.
Well, they've hustled on those special teams tonight. Darcy Kopp's the leader. He's working his way in, but it's Marshall Toner, the slot back, who's in a backup capacity tonight, who gets down there quickly and makes a nice hit.
First down, Winnipeg at the 20-yard line, 51 seconds till the half. Bombers by 18 at 21-3. This is Willard Reeves. Reeves out to the 25, a gain of better than 5. Bernie Morrison, 72, the tackle for Calgary.
5-yard pickup.
Clements might be content to just keep it on the ground and run out a little of this clock.
I think he will. It really depends whether he... This is the key play now with 36 seconds left. If he wants to go for something, it'll be here. This will be the indicator.
Willard Reeves. And Reeves out for a first down.
He's just content to grind it out now. Leave it to Willard on the ground. Take that 21-3 halftime lead into the locker room.
Gain of 8, stopped by Darcy Kopp.
Stats on Reeves, 84. Headed for another 100-yard game.
48 of those came on the very first series when he went on a draw play.
Reeves 117 yards, 2 touchdowns a week ago. Clements will throw it this time. Nikaraki. Second catch as a Blue Bomber.
Clements completes to Nikaraki.
3 seconds remain.
Matt Finlay led a host of
Araki is consistent. 2 catches, both for 8 yards. 1 last week, 1 tonight.
Come back from that awful neck injury that sidelined him for all of 1986, and I think it's a great opportunity after Montreal folded for him to come to a quality team like the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and be part of a winning organization. He's had so many frustrating years with the Montreal teams.
Reeves once more, not much this time for Reeves. He should have the first down, but it really won't matter because that is the final play of the opening half. It has been all Blue Bombers. Turnovers a big part of the story. The Bombers taking 2 turnovers and making 2 quick touchdowns. 21
ball club a little bit. They've still got a long way to go, however.
The quarterback comparison, very interesting, as Warman has now more yards than Tom Clements, who is 10 of 18 and having another game where he's been able to move the football team, but he hasn't had to move the Blue Bombers very far.
Well, they haven't had to go a long way. One scoring drive was 1 yard on that pass to Ty Jones, and Tommy's having a nice, quiet, conservative evening. The defense is playing great. He's had super field position and pretty much a standard Winnipeg Blue Bomber style of game.
Hopkins and McVeigh back for Calgary. Trevor Kennard kicks off the second half for Winnipeg. It goes to Ron Hopkins. Hopkins, good speed as he crosses the 40 and gets near the 45-yard line. A 49-yard kickoff.
Trevor Kennard.
And Ron Crick leading the tacklers upfield for Winnipeg. So the Stampeders begin the second half with reasonable field position. We'll see if Warman has learned anything in the intermission.
Stampeders.
Well, I'm sure what he wants to try and do is just make sure to get that blocking up front and then pick out a few guys like Ron Wheeler, who had some catches in the first half, and Larry Willis is exciting, and he's a breakaway kind of receiver. They just have to get time to get the ball to him.
First down Calgary from their 43. Warman gets time to throw, and it's picked off by James Jefferson. There's a flag down, however. Jefferson doesn't get much on the return for a 65-yard run, but flags are down at the line of scrimmage.
Willis was the intended receiver. The
Holding. Winnipeg, number 9.
Stampeders get a break. That is the newcomer, Ken Petway. So the James Jefferson interception will not stand.
Boy, he made a nice interception, too, to number 20, James Jefferson, but Ken Petway, the newcomer in that backfield, gets called for holding. Probably one of the inside guys working downfield, but nice job by James Jefferson. Reads the quarterback's eyes, steps in front of Larry Willis. Easy pickoff, but it will not count.
A long way for no yards and no interception. Stampeders get a first down out of it. And they begin at the 54. More pressure on Warman, far side. Too far, intended for Willis.
Pass intended for Willis. Second down.
Mike Gray, number 52, getting in with the pressure, and I think he's going to be a great addition to this Blue Bomber football club. Bounced around a little bit, but may have found a home with the Bombers.
Warman faces 2nd and 10. Warman has his man. That's Marshall Toner. Toner has the first down.
Warman complete to
Gotta like Marshall Toner. He was relegated to a backup role with the addition of Ron Wheeler, number 88. But Toner has a first down, so the Stampeders rolling early in the third.
Now Daniel Tolbert on the sideline. Marshall Toner in for him. A coverage breakdown by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, which doesn't happen too often. That time, number 9, Ken Petway, did not get out to pick up Toner. Easy catch and nice pass by Rick Warman. There's Tolbert on the sidelines. Really don't know if there's something wrong with him or not.
From the Winnipeg 39, good fake by Warman. Man on the sidelines. No catch. Larry Willis. He has been having some difficulties.
Well, he better not get too close to that official. He already bumped one this year, cost him a couple of thousand.
Molson's Alberta Brewery is proud to sponsor the Molson Player of the Game.
So Warman
after each Stampeder
gets a man, but he pays for it.
Now this is about the 4th or 5th time tonight that this has happened. Hassan Arbu-Bakr there, number 60 with the hit. 6'4", 250 pounds coming down on you. That's no fun.
Willis did make the catch. Out of bounds. It is 2nd and 10. Warman time. Flags are down, however. And the pass incomplete. Willis, the intended receiver, holding the initial indication.
Boy, had Roy Bennett not tipped that ball, Scott Flagel had an easy interception.
Holding. Calgary, number 56. Illegal contact on a eligible receiver. Winnipeg.
So Coughlin caught for holding. But the Bombers also penalized.
So they'll offset and play 2nd down over again. There's John Coughlin in the middle of your screen, and he's got the hammer lock on Stan Mikowicz, number 77. I couldn't see the illegal hit downfield, but they'll just do it all over again. 2nd and 10.
Decline.
Stampeders
Second
at the
down.
Winnipeg 39. Early in the 3rd quarter, Stamps could make it interesting if they get 7 here. There's a long way to go against that Bomber defense. Big charge. Warman escapes. Takes a hit. Has a completion. Inside the 20-yard line. Larry Willis, 89.
Warman complete to Willis.
Well, that's what Rick Warman has to do to be successful tonight. Try and step around that heavy pass rush. Ty Jones, once again, number 35, comes through clean. Tom Spallettini cannot get him. He steps up into the pocket and throws a nice strike to Larry Willis. He had 52. Delbert Fowler right in his feet, or Mike Gray, rather. But, you know, Rick Warman has taken a pounding tonight delivering that football. Ooh, right in the ribs.
I don't think he's made a completion without taking a hit.
I don't think so either, John.
A 23-yard gain. Warman looks to the end zone. Touchdown! Kirby Warren. His first CFL touchdown. Now, hang on.
Kirby Warren, the intended receiver on the play. Incomplete.
Well, that's a great catch by Kirby Warren. Sneaks out on Ty Jones down the sideline.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah, he did drop that football. We're a long way away. He should have had that catch.
2nd and 10.
What a tough break for a guy like Rick Warman. When he throws a good pass, you got 6 points locked up. All of a sudden, you don't get it.
Warman time to throw to the end zone once more. And this time, just too far for Toner.
Marshall Toner.
Well, that's super coverage by number 30, Darrell Sampson, out of York University in Toronto. 2nd round draft choice in 1986 by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Marshall Toner trying to go to the corner, but Sampson right on his hip the whole way. Had the pass been a little shorter, Sampson, I'm sure, would have broken it up.
J.T. Hay comes in, his 2nd field goal try. Good from 50 earlier. The Stampeders come up a little bit short. Johnson holding. JT from the 23. And he's good. 21-6 on the scoreboard now, but the Stampeders could have certainly used a touchdown. They haven't scored one tonight. They were close on a play a few moments ago. We'll show it to you one more time. Warman to the newcomer, Warren.
Kirby Warren ran a good pattern on Ty Jones coming out of the backfield. He did everything right, but when he hit the ground, the ball came loose, and judgment call.
The official originally signaled touchdown and then waved it off. So the Stampeders stand with 6, the Bombers with 21. Bombers have lost the football. Calgary gets a turnover. Maybe a break for the Stampeders right now.
After a 2-yard pickup, Stampeders recovered.
Well, nobody hit.
Turnover for Winnipeg.
Yeah, nobody hit Willard Reeves there. He just was coming flying through the hole. Gets a good block from number 64, Bob Molly, and then he just coughs the football up, and Bernie Morrison, number 72, the middle linebacker's right there to make the fumble recovery. And, you know, the Stampeders needed something good to happen to them to try and change this game around. Maybe this is the fumble by Willard Reeves.
From the 37, first down for Warman and the Stampeders. Intercepted. Picked off by James Jefferson. No flags are down. This Jefferson interception will stand.
Picked off by Jefferson.
Tony Woodruff, the intended receiver. First interception.
John, here's a great look at it now. James Jefferson's the fastest man on the Blue Bomber football team. Watch how he accelerates. He reads the pattern perfectly, comes underneath Tony Woodruff, makes his first interception of 1987, and that is a tremendous defensive play by a great athlete.
Because that pass was almost on the money.
Oh,
Great defensive play.
You know, that's a good pass. There's nothing wrong with the throw. It's just called team speed. Jefferson's got tons of it, and he makes an outstanding defensive play.
Clements first down at the 17. Willard Reeves stopped after a gain of maybe 4. Hit there by Stu Laird, 75.
The old Willard had 2 hands on the biscuit that day.
Warman has moved the Stampeders a little bit.
Well, Rick you can't worry about it because those things are going to happen. You know, the defensive guys make great plays too, and James Jefferson just used his speed, read everything perfectly, and that was just the way they draw it up in the defensive backfield.
This is 2nd and 7, Winnipeg. Clements back in a hurry. Almost picked off by Larry Hogue.
Clements intended for James Murphy.
James Murphy, the intended receiver.
Now, Murphy ran a good pattern working on David McCrary, but Larry Hogue and Greg Peterson, the middle safety, were double teaming Nick Araki to the inside. When Hogue saw Murphy on the curl, he just kind of hung back and makes an outstanding play to knock the ball down.
21-6, Blue Bombers lead it. Cameron will kick it away. Chilly night in Calgary. 10 degrees Celsius when we began. Good Cameron kick. Larry Willis, 89. Willis tries the far side. Flags are down. Willis gets nowhere. 49-yard punt. Delbert Fowler led the tacklers for Winnipeg.
45-yard kick by Cameron. Willis gets 2 on the return. Flag down.
Legal block. Calgary number 24.
Andy McVeigh can't buy a break. Stampeders. Check that. Greg Peterson. McVeigh 34, 24 Peterson.
Illegal block charge against the Stampeders.
In his 3rd game with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Nick Araki, former 1,000-yard receiver with the Montreal Alouettes. Prior to the game, some thoughts from Nick on the Bomber receiving corps.
Well, as you said, it's the team has an outstanding core with Boyd, Murphy, and Tuttle, and you know, having a quarterback like Tom Clements is a tremendous asset, and it's been a small adjustment, particularly in the pickups of the reads and some of the way they approach their game, but. The more playing time I get, the more comfortable I'm getting with it, and hopefully I can be able to contribute along with those guys.
Well, I think he's going to have a lot of fun in Winnipeg, Nick Araki. Well, he had some frustrating years with the Montreal Concords and Alouettes. Personally, he always played well, but, you know, those things go out the window when the team doesn't do well. You like to have a shot at a Grey Cup. He never had it in Montreal, but got a great chance now with the Bombers.
He carried a big weight in Montreal.
Well, he's
many of his years.
Probably the most popular player to play on that team in some time. He and Peter Dallariva come to mind as 2 popular players in the Montreal history.
From the 32, Warman. For Warren, he can't hang on.
That's why Scott Flagel is the all-Canadian safety. He just reads those things so quickly from his middle safety spot at 6'2", 190. You know, he just loves to come up and knock people around. Kirby Warren's an easy target here, and Scott Flagel just unloads.
2nd and 10, Calgary. Bomber defense plays it tough every time out. They have bent a little since Warman came into the game, but they have not broken defensively. Here's the big rush, and Warman is down. West was there first. Jones was right with him.
Warman brought down by
the sack
Tyrone
attack for the Blue
Jones.
Bombers continues.
Well, between the linebackers last week, they had 5. They're on target again tonight. Here they come again. James West, number 58, straight up the middle. Arbu Bakker, Ty Jones, they're all there. But, you know, Tim Petros didn't pick him up, and he just kind of confused on which guy to get. This is something that Calgary's going to have to get back in the film sessions and iron this down, because other teams will see this, and they'll do the same schemes against Calgary, so they're going to see it a lot this year.
Sampson and Treplin, deep for Winnipeg. They stand near their 40. Harper has had 2 blocked. The Bombers coming again, Mikowas. Couldn't get a hand on that one, but he was up over the top. Darrell Sampson. Near the 50. Marshall Toner led the Calgary tacklers.
Sampson gets 15 on the return.
A 15-yard return, a 49-yard punt for Harper. Much better than earlier results for Mr. Harper.
Well, he's getting a little better protection. Stan Mikowas still is the guy that's coming through and trying to put all that pressure on Glenn Harper.
Bombers 1st and 10, just short of their 50. Clements unloads over the middle. Araki.
Clements complete to Nick Araki.
Well, he's such a great target at 6'6", you know, coming over the middle.
Finley
Easy
and
guy to
Morrison
spot. He
on
gets
the
in
tackle.
between the linebackers, reads zones very well.
Bombers now across midfield. This is to James Murphy. Trying to come around the other side. Murphy, the ball carrier. Ron Hopkins hauled him down. Good effort by Murphy. He was stopped well short of first down territory, but he got close.
Well, I was impressed with the speed of number 78, Vince Goldsmith. He read it from his defensive spot, end spot, and almost chased him down from behind. It's the kind of thing you can do on second and short. Pull a trick play in there. It didn't work, but good time to try it. Watch the speed of Vince Goldsmith coming from behind as he tries to chase James Murphy, probably one of the fastest receivers in the league. He almost gets there.
The University
It's a lot of running for half a yard.
And the fifth
They'll measure it.
Alumni Association presents the first indoor
Hopkins
football
had some
team in
difficulties
Alberta
last week
between the University of
against
Calgary
Winnipeg.
Dinosaurs and their alumni players.
3 interceptions on the season, but he was victimized in a couple of
Saturday,
touchdowns.
August 22nd,
Well, he wasn't the only one.
in the afternoon. For ticket information,
The Bombers are tough. They're averaging 42 points a game on offense. It's tremendous.
220 Dino.
Conversely, the Stampeders are averaging 21 points a game.
Yeah,
And they're dropping the average so far tonight with only 6 up there.
It's tough when you're averaging 21 and giving up over 40.
It'll be third down, less than a yard. Clemens straight ahead.
Clemens keeps it on.
Bomber gamble pays off. It really wasn't much of a gamble.
First down signified. Once again,
It's just another routine night for Tommy Clements. 64% on the year. About that this evening as well. Cut down his interceptions a little bit. He's usually always up there in the interception totals, about even with his touchdowns. This year, only 4 coming in tonight.
9 touchdown passes on the year, 2 tonight. Clements back in a hurry. Jeffers was there with pressure. And this is Perry Tuttle. Tuttle has
Clemens
5.
complete to Perry Tuttle.
Hopkins dragged him down.
Brought down by Richie Hall. Gain of close to 5.
Some fans having fun here. There's a couple of Bomber fans in there. Maybe that's why they're having fun. A long road trip.
Yeah, fun team to cheer for, though. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers always give you full entertainment value for your dollar at the ballpark.
2nd and 6. Willard Reeves. Flag down. Reeves is across the 40 and would have first down yardage. Stu Laird, the tackle for Calgary.
Winnipeg number 63.
They got Chris Walby. Wants to be a pro wrestler someday, Chris does.
Well, he's big enough.
He played a little hockey in his days back in Winnipeg, and he is still, I understand, on the suspended list by the Manitoba Junior Hockey League.
And I think a good move, because it's 6'7" and 290 pounds. You don't want him skating around the ice.
maybe that's why he's on the suspended list. Too big to play. Injured Calgary Stampeder. Tough to pick up the number from this angle.
Lamont Jeffers, the outside linebacker, number 95 for the Calgary Stampeders. Spent a couple of years with the Montreal Concords. 6'3", 220, good size, good on the blitz, good pass cover. Was actually their defensive player of the week last week. I guess they had to pick one.
I guess they did. 2nd down and 16, Blue Bombers. On the penalty to Walby. Willard Reeves tries to get all 16 back on one carry. He gets a good 10 of it. He's over 100.
Brought down by
104.
Well, he's the kind of back you dream of having on your team. He can run inside, outside, at 5'11", over 200 pounds. He crashes up there off tackle so well. Third week in a row that he's been over 100 yards rushing. And I'm telling you, he's a load. When you're a little defensive back like Darcy Kopp and you see Big Willard coming through there, that's a scary feeling.
But the Bombers come up short of a first down. 5:25 to play. Third quarter as Cameron stands at his 50 to kick it away. Good punt for Cameron. Chasing Willis right back to the goal line. Willis finds a bit of a seam, makes something out of that. Close to a 7-yard return, 45-yard kick.
Beautiful punt by Bob Cameron. You know, some people say that he's the best kicker in the league into the wind, and I certainly wouldn't disagree with that.
Cameron, coming into the game, averaged 40.5 yards a punt.
8th year in the CFL from Acadia University, was a quarterback there, and a Heck Creighton Trophy winner is the outstanding player in Canadian intercollegiate football.
He's been known to throw a pass or two in the league, too.
Yeah, he sure has. He's a good athlete. Holds for Trevor Kennett on the field goals. Always liked having the punter hold for the field goal kicker. You know, it's a good thing he can concentrate on.
Stampeders begin from their 7-yard line. Play is whistled down. Foreman fired for Larry Willis.
Boy, he took a shot again, this time from Delbert Fowler, number 72, coming in.
Timeout violation, Calgary number 17.
Nothing is going right for the Calgary Stampeders.
No, and he's going to have the ice packs on tomorrow because he has taken some good shots tonight. 9 of 22, not what he would hope for.
Half the distance to the goal line. The Stampeders are 1st and 15 from the 4 now. Vespasiani must be wondering what he's done wrong. Orman unloads the bomb, and he's well over the target, Larry Willis.
Well, Roy Bennett's a tough guy to pick on in those situations. He leads the club in interceptions this year, did last year. He's all Canadian. He is not the guy I would choose to try and beat deep. But when you're backed up in your goal line, often that's sometimes the best time to do it because picked off, it's as good as a punt. But Roy Bennett, I'm impressed with him. 6'2", 200, great size, good speed.
Then if you go to the other side, you got James Jefferson, number 20.
The fastest guy on the team.
He has picked off 2 tonight, 1 that counted, 1 that didn't, but he has grabbed 2 Worman passes. Worman pressure, intercepted almost. Willis, the intended receiver. Bennett could have had it.
Yeah, he should have. He timed it perfectly. He stepped in front of Larry Willis, and he's kicking the ground. Knows he should have had another one tonight. Pretty much a desperation kind of throw for Rick Worman. The Bombers know he's going to put it up deep in their own territory. They can take a gamble and try and make a interception.
Stamps turn it over on downs, and Harper must be wondering about this one. He's deep in his end zone. 2 have been blocked. Both direct results, Winnipeg touchdowns. Harper keeps it low. Treflin spins away from 1 tackler. Good punt returner. Treflin gets to the 40. He led the league in the punt return category last year. Matt Finley leading the tacklers for Calgary. And flags are down.
Treflin, 8-yard return. Flag down, though.
Your foul. Unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg number 14.
Scott Flagel. Unnecessary roughness. So they'll march it back against the Blue Bombers. And the Stampeders may come out of this with field position after all. They didn't have very much. Well, 55 is a lot better than where they were. They spotted right at the midfield stripe. So the Blue Bombers take over. Calgary Stampeders in deficit 21-6 at this stage of the third quarter. Clemens swings it out for Murphy. Murphy away from 1 and another. Could have been caught. Turns it into a 5-yard pickup. Peterson over to stop Murphy finally.
Well, James Murphy's exciting when he gets his hands on that football, and What an outstanding year he had in 1986. The Shenley Outstanding Player, 116 catches last year.
1,700 yards.
Ooh.
CFL record, right?
Well, there's the line score, pretty even here in the third quarter, but all Winnipeg in the first half as they built up that 21-3 halftime lead.
Second down, 6 to go. Clemens fired that one into the turf, intending it for Willard Reeves.
Lamont Jeffers, we talked about him, good size and speed, 6'2", 220. He was able to get out and get on top of Willard Reeves. You know, had the Calgary Stampeders been able to take advantage of any of their opportunities, you know, they could be right in this ballgame because defensively they've done a pretty good job.
Bob Cameron steps across his 50. Another good one away. For Richie Hall at the 5. Hall tries to find a seam up the middle, and he's out to the 12. 46-yard punt. Kodanovic, number 78, leading the Bomber tacklers. Stampeders hemmed in deep in their own zone once more.
Yeah, they have not started for some great spots.
And then on top of that, penalties have hurt.
Yeah. They are playing on a long football field.
It's been that kind of a start to this season for Calgary. From the 18, first down for Rick Warman of the Stampeders. The newcomer, Kirby Warren. Darrell Patterson led the Bomber tacklers, number 76.
Brought down by Patterson.
Warren is starting to feel a little more familiar in that spot. His first start for Calgary.
Well, Gary Allen, who's the premier, one of the premier running backs in the league, just was, quite frankly, beaten up in the last few ball games. Got some sore ribs, among other things, and they felt they just had to sit him down tonight, and consequently, Kirby Warren gets his chance.
Gain of 4, second and 6. Should be a first down as Warman connects with Larry Willis.
Warman complete to Willis.
And it is a first down for the Stampeders.
First down, Stampeders.
A little more breathing room.
Oh, it's a good call on second down. Need 6 yards. Run a little hook pattern. Try and get some momentum going.
Warman floats it over the middle, almost intercepted. Wheeler, the intended receiver, Delbert Fowler, the would-be interceptor.
Yeah, he should have had that one, and once again it was the great pressure of Tyrone Jones comes free. And well, there's no secret to what Winnipeg likes to do on defense. Just come with so many stunts, try and confuse the quarterback. There was the pressure. Delbert Fowler, 6'2", 215 pounds, high in the air, couldn't squeeze it.
His hands turned to stone. 1:33 left. Third quarter, second and 10, Calgary. 27, here's Warman. Tony Woodruff in double coverage. He got a pretty good hit.
Well, you know, that's the thing about Scott Flagel. He sits back in center field and he reads the pass pattern so well. You see pretty good pass pattern by Tony Woodruff, but Roy Bennett lets him get to the inside because he knows he's got help coming from Scott Flagel, and that's a lot of help there. What a hit.
Sampson and Treflin. Deep for Winnipeg. Harper, who has been busy kicking tonight. Back at his 12. Good one for Harper. Will be taken by Sampson. 25. Good upfield coverage by the Stampeders. A gang of them there. Hopkins and Toner leading the tacklers. And Larry Hogue was also there. A 57-yard kick. He had a 56-yard kick earlier, so the total yards, the Bombers have not moved the ball well in the second half or even late in the second quarter.
Well, they really haven't. Calgary's defense has played well. They forced Winnipeg to go to short pass patterns. They haven't been able to get the ball deep to either Boyd or Murphy tonight, which they like to do so often.
Willard Reeves. Check that Pat Cantner, number 33.
When you talk about total yardage, Willard Reeves himself has probably around 114, 15 yards now, and the Bombers with 189. That's not too much through the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, a special thanks.
It's been a funny day in Calgary today. We've seen everything but snow, rain, very chilly at game time. I think it's warmed up a little bit.
We wish them a seat.
It was breezier, but the wind really hasn't been a factor in the second half. Should be the last play, third quarter. Clements, deep drop, fired another one into the turf. Jeff Boyd, the intended receiver, covering David McCrory.
Murphy,
flag down.
Holding. Winnipeg number 51.
David Black, left offensive tackle.
Flag down.
Well, he's actually moved in to play the left guard now, and Steve Rhoda Huskers moved out to the tackle spot. He's working on Stu Laird. Stu Laird did a good job, was getting the pressure. But they had to hold him. There he is, number 51. Got Eugene Beliveau coming in. You see Vince Goldsmith to the outside. Good job by Steve Rhoda Huskers. And, you know, this is great for the Blue Bombers because they can get a young guy in there and get him some experience.
Cameron. Good pressure by Toner that time, but a good kick by Cameron. At the 30, Richie Hall. Tough running for Hall, stopped by Flagel, and more flags down.
Well, Marshall Toner and Scott Flagel were having a pretty good battle all the way down the field, and that's the area the flag was thrown in.
Still no indication. Referee tonight, Ross Perrier.
Illegal block. Winnipeg number 14.
Flagel's been cut twice, last two Bomber penalties.
He's been fighting with a lot of guys out there tonight, and kind of gives me the indication that he was really excited and ready to play tonight. He's been hitting everybody. Came up, couple good hit on Kirby Warren, another good hit on Tony Woodruff. He's fighting with Marshall Toner. I mean, he's in the action.
He's involved.
Oh yeah, that's what they like. Tell you what, there's not too many guys on that Bomber team that don't get involved.
Very rock solid defense, as Rick Warman has now found out.
Well, it's infectious. You know, one guy makes a hit, then the other guy wants to, they see this, the other guys in the team, they want to get their hits in there too.
Warman, though, has good field position, a first down at the 50. And nowhere to go for Petros that time.
Gets back to the line
West,
of scrimmage, and that's the
number 58, had Tim Petros in his grasp. That's the end of quarter three. Blue Bombers still with a healthy lead. Game of the week from McMahon Stadium in Calgary, headed to the fourth quarter now with the Blue Bombers out in front by 15, 21-6. Stampeders start the fourth quarter with a 2nd and 10 from their own 50. Warman, time to throw, has a strike. Nice pass for Larry Willis inside the 45. On the money, Lee.
Well, Larry Willis runs a good pass pattern, runs a nice hook on James Jefferson, and good throw by Rick Warman.
Statistics through 3 quarters. Turnovers are the big difference. 2 blocked punts led directly to Blue Bomber field goals quickly. Warman on first down. No catch. Toner thought he should have had it. Or been credited with it. 2 officials right on the spot.
Yeah, they sure were. I mean, it looked pretty good from up here, but they were right there. Bobby V doesn't agree with that call.
He's walked a mile tonight.
20,553.
And he's angry.
I think so.
Peters, thank you for your support.
Close, Leaf.
Well, John, I can't comment from this angle. You can't see it. The official was right there. He called it incomplete. Calgary disagrees, but that's not surprising.
2nd and 10. Drop play. Petros. Short of the first down. Maybe another angle on it.
Yeah, well, we should get a good look at it here. Well, I think he got jobbed. Because to me, he made a nice scoop with the football, and that should have been a catch. You know, when things don't go your way and you have something like that happen, Bobby V, he gets a little excited, and I don't blame him.
Third down. 5 to go. The Stampeders go gambling. And it's picked off. Willis, the intended receiver. James Jefferson, the third, has his third interception of the night, the second one that counts.
You know, he's made some super plays tonight on defense, and he runs with Larry Willis on the alley-oop, maybe a little farther than he thought. Warman should have thrown it maybe just a bit quicker, but with that great speed, you know, he's a tough guy to beat deep. He keeps that inside position. No way that ball is going to get in there. Second interception that counts. See how he uses that left arm just to hold Willis off a little bit. Now, that's not interference. It's a subtle way of playing the corner, and he does it well. Mike Riley, he's happy with it.
8 turnovers for Calgary, 6 in the first half.
Of course, Mike, you know, was the defensive backfield coach with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for a number of years and worked closely with these fellas, and he's very proud of their efforts.
Willis is okay, up and off. Warman wondering once more. Studying that playbook that he's got taped to his wrist.
Been a long night for Rick.
It's actually been a shorter night for Warman than for the other Rick Johnson, because Johnson could do nothing in the early going of the ball game. Warman came in before the first half was over. Willard Reeves close to the 5. Bernie Morrison, 72, stopping Reeves. Now, if the Stampeder defense can turn it over quickly here, that turnover may not be all that costly. Almost as good as a punt.
Well, there's number 20, James Jefferson. And, you know, when you've got that great speed, it allows you to do so many things. He ran with Larry Willis so effortlessly down the sideline, made the right play, turned back, easy catch.
Reeves once more on the draw, flags down, and Reeves gets very close to first down territory.
Reeves against the ball carrier. Brought down by Hood. Flag down.
Would you guess holding?
Holding. Winnipeg number 33.
Pat Kantner. So it'll be second down and 7 to go, Blue Bombers.
They have fans in every city in the CFL, I'm sure. They're an exciting team to watch, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Look at the Bomber penalties tonight. In total yards, twice as many. Flagel has contributed to that total just a little bit. Willard Reeves, and Reeves comes up short of a first down. So Cameron comes on as Morrison stops Reeves.
Bernie Morrison on the tackle.
Well, it's a good defensive stand for the Stampeders. They had them down Winnipeg deep in their own territory. The main objective, of course, to stop them as quickly as you can, get that ball back for your offense. You're in the fourth quarter, and gosh, they only trail by 15 points.
Cameron has let a couple of boomers go tonight. He's deep in his end zone for this one. Hall back. Good kick, Cameron. Richie Hall fields it, tries to get outside, away from one. Hall to the 45. Pretty good return. Maybe a little luck involved with that.
Well, that's a heck of an effort by Richie Hall to get by James Jefferson and get some extra yardage, get them in good field position.
And good field position for the Stampeders. See what the Stamps can do here with a first down just outside the Bomber 45. Warman time to throw. Has he got a receiver? He does. Ron Wheeler, 88, in front of Sampson. Wheeler paid for it.
Brought down by Sampson.
Well, they've had success with that tonight. Ron Wheeler, the big target at 6'5", 230 pounds. Goes up limping, but you know, it's a nice matchup on Daryl Sampson. The height advantage, he goes up and over, makes a good catch, but Tyrone Jones is there waiting for him with a pretty good hit.
It is a first down. Stampeders now inside the 35 of Winnipeg. Wheeler, 96 yards through the air. Marshall Toner, close to 5. James Jefferson the tackle. Toner made sure they counted that one.
Jefferson on the tackle.
Yeah, well, that was a good catch. He got jobbed earlier. I don't blame him for being upset. That one counts. They're just getting a little testy out there. Some of the Calgary offensive linemen objecting to Ty Jones and James West. They do a lot of talking out there, I know that.
10 minutes, 25 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Wheeler shaken up on the previous play and then on that one as well. So he comes out. Tipped. Almost intercepted. Jefferson. That would have been his third on the night.
Foreman's pass batted down by Flagel.
Flagel got a hand on it. The intended receiver was Toner.
Well, trying for the quick hitter, and Scott Flagel. Would have been a great interception by Jefferson.
So on 3rd down and 7, it is J.T. Hay once more. 2 for 2 tonight. This from the 38. Good from the 50. And wide from the 38. Single point conceded by Flagel. And mark it at 21-7 now. Bombers in the lead. You know, the Bomber offense hasn't done a great deal since midway through the second quarter. And actually speaking, the Bomber offense hasn't had to do a great deal in the way of drives because the turnovers have helped. Western Sunset, Foothills in the background. And some additions to McMahon Stadium for the opening and closing ceremonies of the 88 Winter Games. Speaker system similar to the one they've got at Commonwealth in Edmonton, suspended high above McMahon Stadium. Clements on 1st down, has a strike. Araki, 3rd catch.
And what a tremendous addition for TSN to provide 7 hours of coverage daily throughout the 1988 Winter Olympics.
8 yards.
Rick Brace, the executive producer for all those telecasts that will originate here in Calgary.
Maybe Brace will bring you along for a little Olympic coverage, Lee.
Well, he could twist my arm.
This is 2nd and 7, Winnipeg. 2nd and 3, I should say. Jeff Boyd, 1st catch.
Pass complete to Jeff Boyd.
It's for a 1st down near midfield.
But what a year he had in 1985 when he led the CFL in receiving, was an All-Canadian there, played out his option and tried his luck with the Cleveland Browns in the NFL, couldn't catch on, and came back.
7 games in 86. That is the 2nd Blue Bomber 1st down in the 2nd half. So the offense has not been rolling. Willard Reeves stopped by Stu Laird.
2 yards.
8:24, 4th quarter remaining.
It's been a funny game for the Bombers. You know, the touchdown pass to Cantor and a touchdown pass to Ty Jones.
Both look very, very easy on the turnovers.
Extremely easy, but I think on both those drives, the whole drive on 2 touchdowns was probably total of about 30 yards.
And about 30 seconds in time of possession. This is 2nd and 7, Winnipeg, right at midfield. I bet time count violation. The zeros are on the clocks. That happened to Warman earlier. It has now happened to Clements.
Time count violation, Winnipeg number 2.
Bombers charged with a time count violation.
Tom Clements has thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight. Cantner and Jones right after block punts. 2nd down and 12 to go, Winnipeg. Back now at the 51. Clements looking deeper this time. James Murphy, the intended receiver. Flags are down. Richie Hall covering.
Pass intended for James Murphy. Hall defending. Flag down.
It might be going the other way. Might be going against Calgary or against Winnipeg. I was watching Kopp down there. He was trying to signal to Vespasiani.
Good call, John.
Defensive pass interference. Winnipeg number 21.
Pass interference charged against Winnipeg.
Kind of tough to figure out how James Murphy could have committed interference on that.
Vespasiani's got to take one, though. I mean, he'll be happy with.
Well, let's have a look at it. And Murphy's got the left arm in there, but I'll tell you what, I didn't see anything there, John.
Penalty declined by
One arm
Calgary.
push back there, and you know there sometimes is a little bit of contact. But
CFL Radio 1140's fifth quarter podium show featuring post-game interviews with stars of tonight's game. XL Radio.
The Bombers will kick it away. A bit of a break for the Stampeders. Good return here would help. Cameron, not quite as deep. Richie Hall. Hall slicing his way. Good return. Cooking for Richie Hall. He's got some blocking out front. Cameron to beat. Caught from behind. James Jefferson caught up with Richie Hall, but a great punt return. 54 yards. The kick was 45. So the Stampeders net out pretty well on that exchange. They're still behind by 14. Lots more to come. That return by Richie Hall sets the Stampeders up with good field position. Nice return, Leif.
well, you know, it doesn't take much of a seam for Richie Hall to get through there. He's got the good speed, and Stampeders have been looking for a spark all night long, and Richie Hall has provided them with excellent field position to start from the.
He needs oxygen, though.
Well, that's a long run for Richie. He's had a tough night. He's been taking on the big guys all night, tackling, sticking his head in there, running back punts, and he's a great competitor.
From the 41, Calgary 1st and 10, 7:17 to play, fourth quarter. Kirby Warren slowly chalking up some yards in his debut as a Calgary Stampeder. He's replacing the All-Canadian Gary Allen.
By Patterson, 6 yards the gain.
Marking a gain of 6. It's 2nd and 4 at the 35 of Winnipeg.
Tim Petros threw a great block on Ty Jones in that last play to spring Kirby Warren for those 6 yards.
Warren has the first down. Flags are down.
Kirby Warren.
Inside the 25 to the 23, Warren.
Brought down by Flagel Jefferson after
Petros threw another good block, but it looks like it'll be brought back.
Holding. 56 Calgary.
Coughlin, John Coughlin, the center.
Yeah, he has not had a night to remember. A couple of holding penalties on him now, and been a tough night for those guys up front.
Awarding gifts courtesy of Taken Alberta Break.
Actually, a first-round pick of the Edmonton Eskimos back in 1986. Could not make the club, put on waivers, and Calgary Stampeders picked him up. It is a little chilly out here.
The blankets are out in July.
That's scary. I don't like
We've seen
that.
snow in this ballpark in July. Talked to Gene Gaines, Bomber assistant. He remembers snow in July the first time he came here in about 1969. Good fake by Warman, and time to throw. Jefferson there once more with coverage on the intended receiver, Larry Willis.
Broken up by Jefferson.
Well, Rick Warman's really taken a pounding tonight. Mike Gray, number 52, came in and gave him a pretty good shot. Coach Bob Vespasiani is really incensed. He's out in the field, and players try to...
Vespasiani being restrained by his players down there.
I think he's objecting to the shot that Rick Warman took.
3rd and 14 facing Warman and the Stampeders right now.
See if we'll get it here just as he released the foul.
Warman over the middle, picked off by Scott Flagel. Frustration for the Calgary Stampeders as Flagel runs it back to the 41.
Boy, somebody on
has been at the center of a lot of controversy tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, somebody on the Bombers,
he's going after him, I think.
Somebody on the Calgary Stampeder bench took a shot at Flagel when he went out of bounds.
Hogue and West. Oh, they're playing around, I guess. Hogue would have to be a little silly to take on West.
Yeah, I think we'd be giving him an IQ test if he did that.
big thank you to Molson.
Meanwhile, at the Bomber bench, tranquil, peaceful, calm. But Mike Riley's Bombers have not been at their very best tonight.
Well, no, they haven't. It's tough, you know, to play a team back-to-back. You know, they kind of know some of the things you're doing. The Calgary defense, I thought, has done an excellent job on Winnipeg tonight.
March off a long one against Calgary now.
Well, they took a shot at Flagel on the sidelines there, and it's going to cost them 15.
So the Blue Bombers first down with 5:48 in the fourth quarter, and the Bombers lead by 14. We'll be right back. Live action, the Bombers near midfield, just across, in fact, at the Calgary 52 with a first down.
Well, here's Scott Flagel going out of bounds, and you can see Rocco Romano, 59, and Harold Hallman come over and give him a little extra shot. He's out of bounds. No need for that. And of course, Scott Flagel could have got a penalty for retaliating throwing the football, but nevertheless, it cost the Stampeders 15 yards.
The Bomber defense resting once more. It is a tough unit to beat. Best defense in the East, and that sounds strange to say.
Yeah, it really does. I'm not even used to that still, John, and I don't think the Bombers are either. Being in the Eastern Conference of the Canadian Football League, where they are undefeated up to this point.
And have a pretty good shot at remaining so. A 14-point lead with 5:39 to play. Clements right on the money for Jeff Boyd.
Almost impossible to stop that pass pattern. The Bombers use a little quick sprint roll by Tommy Clements. Jeff Boyd down the field about 8 yards, break to the outside. Dave McCreary really can't come up and crowd him. He's got such excellent speed, and you just can't stop it. You have to just keep the play in front of you.
McCreary gave him a pretty good shot to force him out. 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1 Winnipeg. A wall of Stampeders force him back, but I believe he had sufficient yardage for the first.
Backed up by a host of Stampeders.
Willard is over 100, 22nd time in his 50-game CFL career. Hall has been shaken up. That's Richie Hall.
Richie's had a tough night.
He's been down a couple of times.
He's been running back punts, hitting people, covering guys. I think he will be in the whirlpool
Richie
tomorrow.
Hall shaken up on the play.
Nice numbers for Willard once more.
Just a routine night. 3rd week in a row over 100.
Over last week's total, too, by 2 yards. He was 1-17 last week on 21 carries. Willard had a couple of TDs last week as well. Well, the girls are still cheering, so there must be some hope for Calgary. Clements rifles this one for Tuttle. Great catch and a big hit by Larry Hogue on Perry Tuttle.
Clements to Tuttle. Complete on the play, down
But he held on.
hit by a Larry Hogue.
That's a super catch by Perry Tuttle. You know, you see that's the difference maybe in the game tonight. The Winnipeg receivers can hang on to that football at critical times, and Calgary Stampeders have not been able to. Tommy Clements reads the coverage. He's in behind David McCreary, and he knows the hit's coming from Larry Hogue, but he hangs in there. You know, you might as well make the catch. You're going to get hit anyway, and tucks it in. That's a big play for the Winnipeg offense. They've struggled here in the second half, but it's a key catch like that that keeps drives going.
Tuttle is not well right now.
He took that hit right on the jaw. Ross Hodgkinson over to try and help him out a little bit, but Larry Hogue, number 14, really had a free shot coming at Perry Tuttle. Larry's been around the league for 5 years now from Utah State.
Bombers out to their best start since 1965. The last time the Bombers had a 3-0 start to the season, Bud Grant was the coach.
That's right.
And they eventually went 4-0 that year. They're close to doing that in '87. Well, Clements' numbers are coming up a little bit. He had not thrown for a great deal of yardage early in the second half, but he's up to 140 yards. A 31-yard pickup sets the Bombers up with a 1st and goal to go from the 10, and it's picked off in the end zone by David McCrary. McCrary looking to the wide side of the field, but the Bombers cover well. Willard Reeves over to make the tackle, so Clements is intercepted going for the touchdown.
Well, John, a very unusual pass pattern by James Murphy. He kind of just quit on a post pattern, and Dave McCreary had an easy interception, but Murphy, that's not like him to do that. Tom Clements a roll and throw back to the short side of the field. A play they've run many, many times, but James Murphy just kind of pulled up on it, and Dave McCreary had the easy pick on.
Looked like there might be a lot of room out there, but the Bombers close very quickly, don't they? 1st and 10 Calgary, deep in their zone at the 7-yard line. First interception by David McCrary in the CFL. Straight ahead for Tim Petros. And Petros rumbles for a 1st down, or at least very close to it. David McCrary, University of Tennessee. 4th start of '87.
Brought down by Fowler.
First interception of 1987. You know, he's got 4.5 speed, so he can run with the fleet-footed James Murphys and Jeff Boyd's, so no problem in that area.
1st down, Warman. And Bennett was covering number 23 on Tony Woodruff.
Roy Bennett.
Well, Tony Woodruff, when you run that hook pattern, you've got to work your way back to the quarterback. He didn't. Bennett can close easily, and an easy knockdown.
3 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the football game. A long way to go for Rick Warman and the Calgary Stampeders. Tonight for Bob Vespaziani and the Calgary Stampeders, Rick Warman has made it a little more bearable, but he hasn't been able to get the end zone. Calgary, a couple of field goals by J.T. Hay and a single on a missed field goal by J.T. Tom Clements, a couple of touchdowns, quick to capitalize on Calgary mistakes. And that's all the Bombers have needed so far. They have a 14-point lead.
Of course, Tommy now worked on the law degree in the offseason. Finally completed everything. He's working with a law firm in Chicago in the offseason. Of course, he's got 2 years running on his contract. I suspect he'll fulfill those and then maybe move into the law profession full-time.
Get one of those black robes and walk up the big steps.
Well, you know, you take your hat off to a guy like Tom Clements. To go to school at law school in the offseason for so many years is really dedication, and Tommy's done a super job.
2nd and 10 facing Warman and the Stampeders. Has to escape. Warman can run for the 1st down. He's got it. Tries to get away from West and cannot. But a 1st down for Rick Warman.
13 yards on the pickup.
Well, that's a pretty nifty running play by Rick Warman. Dropped in the pocket. You can feel that pressure. You got to step up into it. He does so. Everybody covered downfield, and he makes things happen by himself. He's got a little breathing space outside the 30-yard line.
To the outside for Marshall Toner. Toner, some room down the sidelines. And close to midfield. As a matter of fact, across midfield, forced out by James Jefferson.
Ken Petway couldn't stay with Marshall Toner. He's getting a chance to play with the injury to Ron Wheeler and Emmanuel Tolbert out of the game as well. And Marshall Toner just an out pattern. Petway couldn't get out there, and Toner has a nice catch and a lot of yards in 2 plays.
Stampeders are moving, but 2 minutes, 34 seconds. All that remain in the 4th quarter. Time for Warman. Over the middle. Not quite that time. Tony Woodruff, number 80. Check that. Ron Wheeler, 88.
Well, he's made some good catches tonight. Couldn't squeeze the handle on that one. Spent 3 years in the U.S. Football League, did Ron Wheeler. 1 year, he had 51 catches with the Arizona Outlaws.
2nd and 10, Stampeders.
2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4th quarter, 21-7. Blue Bombers on top of the Calgary Stampeders. For Calgary, 2nd and 10 near midfield. Warman for Toner. Well short.
Warman complete to Toner. 5-yard pickup.
Ken Petway.
Pushed out of bounds by Petway.
Now you wonder about the pattern.
47.
Well, I can only surmise that Rick Warman was saying we've got
3rd and 5.
we're playing 3-down football from here on in, so we got 2 downs to make the 10 yards. I'll take 6 on this one and hope to get 4 on my last try. I don't quite agree with it, but
3rd and 4. Over the middle, they get the first down. Ron Wheeler, big catch for Calgary. Something to cheer about at McMahon Stadium.
well, they turned them loose, and Rick Warman found them. So on a 3rd down gamble, they're successful, and they put together a pretty impressive drive here late in the 4th quarter.
Correct that. Flagel on the
2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Stampeders down by 14 with a first down from Bomber 30. Larry Willis.
Well, he wants to get out of bounds. He wasn't able to do so. You know, you make that catch in the sidelines. First thing you want to do, of course, is catch the football. Second, get it out of bounds, stop that clock. He wasn't able to do so.
Jefferson
It's going to cost him a few precious seconds.
2nd and 3. To the end zone, it's Flagel had 3 chances at that pass intended for Larry Willis. That would have been his 2nd interception.
Well, John, that's a bad read by a young quarterback. And you had 2nd and 3 late in the game. You're driving. You know, you got the post pattern, but you've got to know that Scott Flagel's sitting back in the deep zone coverage. If you read man-to-man, it's another thing. With Flagel coming up, yes, then you go and hit the post. But when he stays back in center field, you cannot throw it in his area like that.
3rd down, 3 to go. Stampeders at the Bomber 22. Time remaining, less than 2. Warman. And the flags come down. Jefferson. And the pass intended for Larry Willis.
Well, no question about that one. Jefferson.
Pass interference. Winnipeg number 20. First down.
He arrived a little early. He was there before the ball got there. Finally, a break that goes to Stampeders' way. Larry Willis, the intended receiver. There you see the contact before the ball arrives.
So it is 1st and goal, Calgary. Best shot at it, but only 2 minutes remain. Best shot at getting to the Bomber end zone. 1st and goal to go from the 7. And Jefferson almost picked it off. That Bomber secondary must be hard to figure for Warman.
You have to wonder what Warman's looking at down there. Really, no chance to get that ball in to Larry Willis. James Jefferson all over him, and of course Warman checking his arm. He's got the plays all written down there, and he better find the right one because they need 7 yards in a hurry.
1 minute 50 seconds remaining, 4th quarter. Stampeders trail by 2 touchdowns. They got to get to the end zone quickly. Warman lofts one in. There are flags down. Touchdown. Larry Willis, number 89.
Well, just hold on, John. There was some real contact between Jefferson and Larry Willis. We'll see how they sort that out. Jefferson went down on the play.
Defensive forward pass interference. Winnipeg number 20. Decline. Touchdown.
Jefferson caught for pass interference, and finally, the Stampede horse is roaring around the sideline.
Well, that's Larry Willis' 3rd touchdown, and they had a great finish in their first game of the season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Looks as though we might get one here. James Jefferson falls down. Willis wide open. Warman finds him. They got themselves a touchdown.
Well, the young lady on the horse may get a chance for one more, but it's a long way back for the Stampeders still. With 1:43 to go, the Stampeders are a touchdown behind the Blue Bombers. J.T. Hay keeps his consecutive convert streak intact. 312 straight now.
Well, John, what do you do? Minute 43 to go. Do you try the onside kick or do you go deep?
Look at the drive, though. I mean, the Stampeders took a long time to get there, but they had a long way to go. Larry Willis has the first Stampeder touchdown.
Well, the key play, one of the key plays was Rick Warman taking off and running for that first down. Did a heck of a play there, but now Coach Bob Vespasiani has to make a decision. Do we kick it deep and try and hold Tommy Clements and his crew, who are a tremendous team at running the clock out?
Well, I've had some discussion with Mr. Hay.
Well, every team puts in what they call a hands team when they're returning a kick in a crucial situation like this. So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have all guys up on the front line there, 10 guys up there that are used to handling the football, a lot of receivers and defensive backs, and they're expecting an onside kick by J.T. Hay.
Bombers opened a 21-0 lead. Stampeders came back with field goals in the second and third quarter, and finally, in the fourth quarter, the Stampeders get on the board with a major. 21-14, Calgary trailing Winnipeg. A minute 43 seconds to go, fourth quarter.
I think he's going to kick it deep.
Not very deep, but not short enough for a Stampeder recovery.
Jeff Treflin does a good job. He's in there for one reason alone: catch that football, get it down on the ground, and just take possession. He does a nice job.
No return.
Well, you got to like the Bombers' chances for a couple of reasons. First of all, there's a touchdown lead on the scoreboard. Secondly, you get Clements at quarterback.
It's tough to figure out that kick by J.T. Hay. You know, if you're going to go onside, just loop it up about 10 yards. If you're going to go deep, I mean, kick it. But to only
He's
kick
after
it
about 30 yards.
I don't quite understand that. You give up a lot of field position.
For Willard Reeves. And Reeves stopped after a gain of close to 6. A minute 40 remaining. Stampeders down by a touchdown. And they have struggled all evening long, but Warman has moved the football team a little bit. He's got some pretty good numbers up there. Warman 266 yards compared to Clements. Clements has worked the whole game. Warman a little short of that as Johnson started. Now the Stampeders come up with a stop on Willard Reeves.
Be about a yard short. A little encouragement from Tom Spallettini, and that was a big play for the Stampeder defense. You know, teams have run against them pretty easily this year, but that time when they had to force the issue, they were able to hold Reeves short of that first down. Bob Cameron will have to commit it. They're going to get the football back. A long way to go, though.
Willard stuffed in here.
That makes it 3rd and 2.
Now Bernie Morrison gets in there. He's the first guy to make contact, but in those kind of situations, you need a lot of help from your teammates. They got the good swarming defense going there. Keeps them a yard short. They'll get the ball back.
Bombers really have no choice but to kick it away.
Oh, yeah, well, you got one of the best defenses in the league and a good punter like Bob Cameron. You know, I mean, you're leading the game by 7. You got to let your defense play now and try and solve it away for you.
You got to go get him.
Harold Holman.
And I agree with him. You got to go get him.
Cameron has nailed one for 58. Low snap. Stampeders can't get a rush through.
Oh, and he nails one, too.
McCrary, number 3. He's to the 20. 46-yard kick for Cameron.
McCrary gets 7 yards on.
Well, in their opening game of the season out at Taylor Field in Regina, they were able to come back along a couple of passes to Larry Willis, and he finished it off.
To Willis, final minute.
Yeah, he finished it off with a nice touchdown catch.
That was for a victory by 1 in Saskatchewan. Stamps need a touchdown to tie this one at home. Calgary 1-3 on the season. Winnipeg 3-0. Bennett tipped that one away. Woodruff was the intended receiver. 1:05 remaining.
Those corners are tough for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Jefferson and Bennett each with some interceptions tonight.
2 more tries for Calgary. 2nd and 10. Foreman has put some numbers up. and 1 touchdown, but it was a slow starting Stampeder team. This is the newcomer, Kirby Warren. Well short.
Ty Jones makes an outstanding defensive play. They have the screen set up now. If they block Ty Jones, they got a chance to make the first down, but he just fights through the block and makes the tackle on Kirby Warren. Watch how he fights through Tom Spallettini, the left guard, and trips up Warren. That's a super defensive play, and he's had himself a tremendous night.
3rd and 10, final minute, 54 seconds to go. Warman has one last chance. Runs himself, has the first down at the 30. 46 seconds to go. Warman is going to try and do this all by himself. You mentioned the other first down he ran for, Leaf, a key play.
Oh, yeah.
This even more so.
Well, you have to really appreciate his guts and courage here in the 4th quarter. You know, he's doing everything possible to try and pull this game out.
41 seconds left. Bombers fan out. Warman time to throw. A first down. The Bombers missed the coverage. This is Kirby Warren. It looked like he was going to step out of bounds. And the Stampeders are still alive. Absolutely amazing.
Well, good throw by Warman and kind of sloppy tackling along the sideline. Well, they didn't even really get a shot at him. Daryl Sampson got blocked out. Ty Jones couldn't get there, and Scott Flagel saves the day. But what a huge play. And finally, the Stampeders are starting to make some of these big plays.
46 yards, 32 seconds left. The Stampeders need a touchdown. Fired long by Warman that time. He was hit. It was Toner, the intended receiver. There is still hope for Bob Vespasiani. 28 seconds left.
Boy, Winnipeg doesn't change their style on defense, though. Scott Flagel coming with the safety blitz in a tight situation, and he gets the pressure in there, and there's no way they can complete a pass.
Hard hitting tonight, Mikolas, the latest player down. The Bombers' concern from earlier is Bastaya, who was taken off on the golf cart. Ankle problems.
Stan Mikolas has had himself a pretty good evening, too. Blocked punt, covered another one.
Riley faced a situation like this in that game we did in Toronto. He had the big lead on the Argonauts. Argos came back and made a finish of it. They were about 8 points short. But they had a shot at tying the football game. The Calgary Stampeders still have a shot at tying this one. They trail it by 7.
28 seconds to go, you know, and that's plenty of time for at least 4 good plays. So the key for Rick Warman in this situation, not to get too excited and try and get it all at once. Maybe take 10 a pop and take your 3-4 plays and move it in 10 yards at a time if you can.
2nd and 10 Calgary at the Bomber 35. The charge is on from Winnipeg. Warman goes down.
Warman brought down to the backfield.
Jones.
Ty Jones.
Got to Warman that time.
Well, he has been the dominant force on the field tonight. There's no question about that. Tyrone Jones, some sacks, touchdown reception, and here it is in a nutshell. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12.
Stampeders, 20 seconds on the clock. Warman. I don't know if he can get away. He's there for the first down.
Well, this depends on where they spot it now. This is going to be close.
He is across the yard marker for the first down on this side of the field, but the official is kept on the far side. So where will they put the football? 11 seconds left on the clock. It didn't look like Warman had a ghost of a chance of getting anywhere near first down yardage.
They'll measure.
Now, Mr. Warman has had not a bad evening. He has thrown 47 times. The club record held by Ken Johnson for Calgary is 49 tosses. He's got time for one more if he gets the first down. It looks like it's going the way of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but no. The Stampeders have a first down. James West was roaring off the field saying it's our football, but it is not. It belongs to the Calgary Stampeders and to Rick Warman. Leaf, I think we given up on the Stampeders. They haven't given up on themselves.
Well, it's been Rick Warman. He's just had a super second half.
Warman goes down. 4 seconds left. He's got one more shot. Mike Gray.
Mike Gray made the sack. Loss of 1.
There have been a lot of sacks
Second down.
given up by the Stampeders tonight. 5 in total. A little excitement for Mike Riley.
Well, he's trying to figure out a defense to stay in. This is it.
Should be the last play of the game. Johnson has a first down. The time has run out. I don't know if it's official or not. But that's the ball game. The Stampeders come up about 7 yards short.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers 21. The Calgary.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers go to 4-0, but they made Mike Riley sweat for it. The Calgary Stampeders did tonight. In particular, Rick Warman.
Well, John, you really can't say enough about the performance of Rick Warman. He comes up a little bit short.